Arlington, Texas, Resolution Prep.
We have watched them on video, but I don't even have a roster with the kids' names, so I don't know exactly who we're facing other than their jersey numbers.
And it's about the same as we said. Coach Rhodes knows about what we know about them as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of guys get to play in this ball game. A lot of our second and third stringers, Carp, are going to get some playing time.
It's going to be a well-placed game in terms of if things turn out to be the case where you can. Going into Garden City, you get to rest your starters. You get a lot of second and third teamers. Now we get to say third teamers because of the expanded roster. You're right, Glenn. A lot of people should see playing time today. And what Coach Rhodes is going to look for out of those guys is kind of an audition to make a jump into those top two, maybe that top starting lineup. This is going to be big for those second and third team players to make their presence known with the coaching staff and try to move up the depth chart.
Well, and I think you're going to see plays, especially later in the game when those guys get opportunities from some of these guys, whether it be running backs or wide receivers, that are going to make fans say, well, why isn't this guy playing all the time? That type of talent is there, but who is your number one in-house? And you can kind of settle some of that to an extent here, but I think you're going to see some big plays from those, as you said, third-teamers.
All right, wrapping up here in about a minute to go, let's talk about the rest of the games. They're all going to be after our games. Again, Garden City, third in the nation. They travel to Independence for a 7 o'clock kickoff.
Just really a lot of unknowns with Independence. Which team's going to show up? The team that played Iowa Western or the team that showed up last week and beat Fort Scott?
Fort Scott at Iowa Western Community College. That's going to be a big game for Fort Scott up at Iowa Western. We'll know what they're made of.
Yeah, exactly. Iowa Western should be able to roll over them pretty easy. Fort Scott's, I think, going to struggle this year.
Darren, take a look at Butler at Coffeyville. Always a heck of a ball game. Coffeyville licking her wounds a little bit, 0-2.
Yeah, and that's what makes this game strange, because part of you says, well, this is where Coffeyville's going to break out, get the first win of the season. Butler, though, comes in 1-0. Neither team is a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. I would think that this could be another one of those high-scoring games, but at the same time, and maybe to cover all my bases, I suppose, it could be a lower-scoring game. But if I had to choose, I would say it'd be a high-scoring game, and I want to give the edge to Butler. But, man, Coffeyville's at home with Steve, that big old erector set.
The old erector set.
The old erector set. It's a good whole field advantage for them. They have a 85% winning percentage at the erector set. And when you come in, it sort of looks like that's the point I'm trying to make, everybody. But they're very good at home, and Butler has had some success though. So there's a lot of variables in playing that one too. I think that's going to be a high-scoring one, like Darren said.
Last game is going to be actually a 1 o'clock game coming up in just a little bit is Texas Institute of Architectural and Technology, AI and AT, at Dodge City Community College. So a bye for Dodge City, basically. Not a bye, but a non-league opponent for Dodge City. Another
prep-type team, but Dodge City has not played well to their standards. They're still in the poll. And they're kind of I talked to their AD, they're kind of wondering why they're in the poll because they played so badly, but they're 1-1. They got the job done, and they should be able to rack up a lot of numbers today.
Yeah, and if they don't, then there would be reason for the Conquistadors to worry.
Yep, that would be true. Well, that's going to wrap things up. Rob Dreher's in the booth. He's getting set. Rusty's itching to get going. Rusty's always itching to get going. We're about set to get underway with this ball game coming up here in just a little bit. Thanks, as always, Steve Carpenter, Sports Information Director at Hutchinson Community College. Thank you, Darren Dunn, as well. I'm Glenn Grunwald, your host. We're glad to have you along on another Countdown to Kickoff, brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Papa John's Pizza, 501 East 17th. Give them a try. Go to their website. They got some great specials, extra large pizza with 2 toppings for only $11. Give them a call, 665-7272. It's game time. We'll be back with more from Gowan Stadium right after this.
Papa John's has changed the cheeseburger forever.
It's my new double cheeseburger pizza. Cheeseburger? Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger? Cheeseburger.
Double cheeseburger.
Papa John's new double cheeseburger pizza. 100% premium beef, no fillers, fresh diced tomatoes, pickles, and a zesty sauce. Just $12 for a limited time at papajohns.com.
Papa John's quality with the taste of a cheeseburger. You got me. Better ingredients. Better pizza. Papa John's.
This has been the Papa John's Countdown to Kickoff with Glenn Grunwald, Darren Dunn, and HCC Sports Information Director Steve Carpenter. Brought to you by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Stay tuned. The kickoff to tonight's HCC Blue Dragon football game is just ahead on BW Radio and Country 102.9. Hutchinson Community College Blue Dragon Sports is on the air on Eagle Radio. The Blue Dragons on Radio is brought to you in part by Erickson Custom Building, The Medicine Shop, Ashcraft Pharmacy, Prairie Star Health Center, H&R Block, RCAT, Next Tech Wireless, and the Sportscaster Club members, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert F. of the Hutchinson Clinic, Craig Barkley Plumbing, Burning Chiropractic Center, and Tim and Gina Ritter, along with Brian Strange of the Green Vision Group. Sideline reports are brought to you by Jackson Meat, Oliver's Beef and Brew, and Cahoon Kinesiology. It's just about game time, so let's head to the Eagle Radio broadcast booth for the game with the Eagle Sports Crew on Country 102.9 and BW Radio.
Well, a very pleasant Saturday, everybody. To you, the Blue Rob Dreher, the Blue Dragons a week ago, thought they were the better team. In a loss. What does a loss like that take out of a team?
Well, you know, it's a heartbreaker in the fact that Coach Rhodes and his staff went back to the end of that game in which Hutchinson believed that they had tied the game, would have kicked an extra point that would have possibly won the game and should have won the game. And when they went back and watched film, the false start penalty that was called by the officiating crew there was bogus. They had it reviewed here by officials in this conference, and they said that the Dragons were set, touchdown should have counted, so that even makes it worse. You only have so many games, and when a game is kind of taken away from you from a mistake by an officiating crew, that makes it tough. But the Dragons, they'll come out here today. This game is going to be decided probably fairly early, as captains right now are at the 50-yard line, and we're trying to find out who's going to win the coin toss.
And let's see if we can't work in a 1-minute break before the start of this football game. Kick off at high noon. Resolution Prep against Hutchinson. We're back in 60 seconds.
The family name has always been connected to serving the Hutchinson community, and you can expect the same kind of high-quality service when you visit Rothy Family Flooring. They believe you deserve to be treated like family, so they've invested in their own talented and trustworthy installers to lay your floors. No outside contractors will ever knock on your door if Rothy works for you. Let them show you their expansive selection of name brand flooring and trust your home to the best. Rothy Family Flooring, 325 North Main, Hutchinson.
It could be you just woke up feeling way too yucky, or one of your kids gets really scuffed up while playing. Whatever the reason you might need same-day medical care, you'll really appreciate the Prairie Star Walk-In Clinic. We're concerned about your well-being, whether you have insurance or not. Welcome to the responsive care you deserve at Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
Games on the schedule in our conference this afternoon. It is Fort Scott at Iowa Western. That's a 6 o'clock game. Garden City plays at Independence at 7. Butler's at Coffeyville at 7. This game obviously here in Hutchinson at high noon, and Dodge City entertaining Texas Institute of Agriculture and Technology. That one at 1 o'clock. So a couple of teams stepping up against unusual opponents, and then the 3 traditional games this evening.
Well, this is one of those situations where Kansas Wesleyan, their JV, was to be the scheduled opponent. They backed out at the last minute. Coach Rhodes' staff scampered, tried to get somebody on the schedule. 4 to 5 teams said, no thank you, we don't want to go to Gowan Stadium and play. And he talked to a friend of his who put him on to Resolution Prep to get a game on the schedule. That's what we have. This one might not be pretty, but it is what it is, and we're about set for kickoff.
And kicking off for the Dragons, who will be Donovan Gagan. 3 players standing back at the 5-yard line. I would not be at all surprised to see this one carry all the way into the end zone. And it is back, and it'll float into and die in the end zone. And the Wildcats of Resolution Academy will start their first offensive set at the 25-yard line.
Great job by Drew Harvey on the kickoff team. I love seeing that. When kids on the kickoff sprint never stop, they know it's going to be a touchdown, and that guy went full speed all the way into the end zone as Resolution Prep sends their offensive line out on the field. Rusty, it is a ginormous offensive line.
It's a big offensive line. The big problem for Resolution Prep this afternoon is going to be the fact that there are only 30 kids on this roster, and the linemen are going to try to play offensively and defensively, and those big kids, although they might be fresh here early on, I doubt very seriously that they stay that way.
Very tall task ahead of them here in this one.
Yeah, all right. Taking a long time to get this first play off.
And they're looking at the play as the clock is down to 5, and let's see if they can get it off in time.
And it's going to be a running play, and the ball's on the ground. Dragons scrambling forward at the 20-yard line, and this game starts with a fumble recovery by the Blue Dragons.
Well, Glenn, they weren't sure what play they were in to start with, and then a hard hit.
Well, I also think they're going to stretch that play clock down, but yeah, the hard hit and the drop in the recovery. Hayward on the recovery did a good job on that, and it's already the Blue Dragons football.
Blue Dragons with a short football field in front of them, just 5 seconds taken off that clock.
Well, this is the first time I look across at the visitors' seats and see 2 people over on the sideline, so there is not going to be a lot of vocal support behind Resolution Prep here.
One can only hope that Florida has evacuated as well as those stands have, because that's a serious situation down in Florida.
Yeah, our hearts and prayers with a lot of people down there.
Cam Jones stands in the gun, takes a snap, 1-step drop, throws to a wide-open receiver, and down to the 5-yard line the Dragons go on the first play of the game for them.
Well, Cam, this is a game for him to kind of maybe get some confidence. He's played solid. I wouldn't say spectacular. Needs to work on completion percentages, and thought he did a better job taking care of the football, though, in game 2.
Yeah, he did. He played well last week. That catch, by the way, made by Lumpkin.
Yeah, pick up 15 yards by Johnny on that play. First and goal, Dragons. Again, Jones stays in the gun, gets a high snap, hands off, and there's the first score of the game. Untouched into the end zone go the Blue Dragons. A 2-play, 20-yard drive, touchdown scored by B.J. Emmons. And with 36 seconds gone, it is 6-0.
Safe to say B.J. Emmons has probably had much tougher runs in his high school days than what he saw on that particular play right there. Was never touched.
There was not much resistance from the visitors on that Dragon scoring drive. Extra point by Niemeyer is up. He hasn't missed all season. He doesn't miss here. and it is 7-0 with just 36 seconds played. We'll have Hutchinson's kickoff in half a minute.
This is Carter File, president of Hutchinson Community College. The proud tradition of Blue Dragon sports continues this fall. I encourage you to take advantage of the Blue Dragon All Sports ticket. For just $60 for adults and $40 for K through 12 students, you can enjoy over 50 athletic events at Hutchinson Community College. These are general admission tickets, which include football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and other selected events. Get yours today at the sports arena or at area Dillon stores. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and keep current on all Blue Dragon news and events at BlueDragonSports.com.
Well, the Blue Dragons wasting no time already on the scoreboard on top, 7-0. And once again, Donovan Gagan prepares to kick with that 20-mile-an-hour wind at his back. Wind blows the ball off the tee. Gagan has to reset it. 3 players deep for Resolution Prep. The first kickoff carried into the end zone. Let's see if Gagan can do that again. Approaches the football, puts his toe in it, and this one is even longer than the first, and it's out the back of the end zone. So we'll see what Resolution Prep can do on their second possession of the game. First possession, fumbled snap on the first offensive play, led to the Dragons taking over.
You know, I mentioned it, Rob, and you talked about the fact maybe they're having a hard time calling the play. I really think they're going to milk that clock down each time.
Well, that's all fine and dandy, but the first time they had the ball, the clock wasn't even moving.
I know.
Yet.
Well, it finally got down to about 3, but let's see what happens here. I'm just saying that could be their MO.
Dusty Rhodes is the quarterback for Resolution Prep. Almost all the kids on this team are from the state of Texas. Rhodes is no exception. Takes the snap, hands off, and the Dragons are in the backfield immediately, and there is absolutely nowhere to go for Cade Leach, and he goes down for a loss.
Talon Humphrey, 99, considered one of the best junior college defensive football players in the country, and he had penetration, and the back had no chance.
Loss of 5. It is second down at the 20. 2nd and 15. Rhodes has backs on either side of him. As he takes a snap, it is low, and Rhodes has to run with it. Flags fly. Rhodes does a pretty good job of being able to recover the low snap and turns it into only a loss of a yard or 2. We check the flag.
Yep, first flag we've seen in
Yeah,
this
they had movement, guys.
contest, and don't think the offensive line got set.
And I don't think the Blue Dragons are going to take this penalty.
I don't think so either. I think they'll decline it.
Illegal formation. Number 52 is not on the line of scrimmage.
I didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage is actually the call.
So they're going to take it.
They don't have the choice.
They don't have a choice.
Yeah, they don't
on
have a
that
choice
one.
on that one. You're right.
Dead ball foul.
So now it is back to the 15-yard line. It is second down and 20. Coach of Resolution Prep is Reggie Calhoun. He's also the founder of the college. He's their athletic director. He's the president. He is kind of the man at Resolution Prep Academy. And the Dragons are all on top of this running play, and then squirting loose for a little bit of a gain is Cade Leach. He gets about 3 or 4. It'll be 3rd and long.
And if you're Resolution Prep, you're considering that a victory. That time able to pick up some positive yards, and it'll be a 3rd down and about 15 now facing this team from Texas.
Blue Dragons already on top, 7-0. Dragons recovered a fumble on the first play from scrimmage by Resolution Prep. 2-play drive. And now looking to stop Resolution Prep on this 3rd and long, get the ball back and start thinking about adding on. Rhodes back to throw, being chased, dumped inside the 15-yard line. A late flag comes in, and we'll check that. That could be a personal foul.
Well, it was 99 again, Talon Humphrey, who just smothered the quarterback. Dragons brought a blitz that time, and we'll see if this extends the drive because of some kind of a personal foul, and I think that could be the case. Yep, face mask, 15-yard variety, automatic first down. They'll move the ball now out to about the 38-yard line, I believe. If you were going to be at all critical of the Dragons for anything this year,
it would be penalties. The Dragons had 18 of them in the first game. Did much better at Iowa Western in that category last week.
But it was still double digits, and it is a concern and has the coach's attention here, no question.
So it becomes a first down situation out at the 30 for Resolution Prep. Rhodes awaits the snap, hands it off, and the Blue Dragons trip up the running back after a very short gain of a couple of yards.
Story Jackson on the tackle leads this Hutchinson defense in tackles on the season. He has 25 tackles in 2 games.
Cade Leach was the running back. He's out of Gunter, Texas. Plays running back, defensive back, and linebacker.
They have one player from New York, one player from Georgia, one player from Arkansas, one from Minnesota, one from Louisiana. The others are all Texans.
Well, it's a good state to recruit in. Texas and Florida, no question.
Second down and 8 at the 32. Rhodes gets the snap, drops back, wants to throw, throws it out in the flat and out of the reach of his intended receiver. Good coverage by Blue Dragon Marcus Edwards over there. It'll be incomplete and bring up third down and 8.
Yep. Plenty of time that time for the quarterback. He just was off target a little bit as the Dragon defense now facing a third down and 8. This drive was extended because of a face mask, a personal foul penalty that tacked on 15 yards when the Dragons would have had a stop initially.
Single running back beside the quarterback, that's Garrett Hunter. Couple of wideouts left, one to the right. Rhodes takes the snap and hands off, and the Dragon knocked down our running back for a loss of 2 or 3 yards, and it'll be fourth down and definitely time to punt.
Great penetration that time by the Dragons linebacking core, and Guy Victoria making a sound tackle for a huge loss on the play. It'll bring up a punting situation here, you would think.
Probably going to go with a quick kick, more than likely. I doubt if they're going for it, guys.
Well,
it will be Rhodes back there.
Yeah, he is the punter. Takes the snap, kicks it, gets it off. It might have been deflected at the line of scrimmage, but it takes a nice roll for Resolution Prep and rolls down to the Blue Dragon 39-yard line. There'll be no return. Hutchinson gets it for the second time in the game, leading 7-0.
And I do believe the Dragons got a piece of that. It was almost blocked, and that would have caused some more headaches for this team here that is severely overmatched from Resolution Prep today.
Well, let's see what the Dragons do on their second trip. A pass completion and a walk into the end zone resulted in a Dragon touchdown after recovering a fumble at the 20. Cam Jones continues to be the Hutchinson quarterback. Deshaun Waller is the running back, standing a couple of steps behind Cam Jones. And they give it on the run around the edge, and Marcus Edwards, it's his turn to pick up some big yardage. He came from the right side all the way across the formation, easily turned it upfield and takes it all the way down to the 43-yard line of Resolution Prep.
Well, Edwards, one of those big play receivers for the Dragons, as he has a nice little run there, and I'm afraid if the Dragons want to get outside on this team anytime they want, it's going to be there.
Edwards sets up as a wide receiver, wide to the right this time. Jones under center. He gives off to Waller. Waller takes it to the right side. He's untouched at the 30, at the 20, at the 15, down the sideline and out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Make it a 29-yard scamper for Mr. Waller, who is quite a player.
He really got Coach Rhodes' attention their last game out in Iowa and thought Deshaun really ran the football with power, with heart, with decisiveness. And that time, just a good, strong run. The offensive line, as expected, creating huge holes for those backs to run through.
14 carries, 95 yards for Deshaun last week.
He was really good.
Nickname is Rich Homie.
Rich Homie, huh?
Cam Jones goes under center, drops back to throw, sets up, unloads, and it is broken up. Pretty good defensive play. Pass intended at the 5-yard line for Blue Dragon
Jason Poe.
And
not really open. I'm not sure that time. That's been a problem for the Dragon quarterback this year at times, going through his reads, and that time I don't think that read was necessarily where the ball should have went. A couple receivers open, and that's where Jones can get better.
2nd down and 10 at the 15. Jones this time gets a high snap, hands off, and dancing around. Waller moving forward, takes it inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. There is a flag dropped back there.
I think you're just looking at the shoes of the player.
Yeah, you are. There's
Rusty.
a bright yellow shoes.
Yeah,
back there.
bright yellow.
And it's easy to kind of mix that up because I did that earlier when I first saw him.
Especially when they move.
It is a 3rd down for the Blue Dragons, obviously in 4-down territory, 3rd down and 3 at the 8. Couple of wideouts right. I would be shocked if the Dragons did anything but run this one. We'll see. And give it off to Waller. Waller easily into the end zone for the Dragons' 2nd score of the afternoon.
At least he was touched, unlike the first Dragon touchdown.
Pretty well blocked, but again, obvious mismatch between the Dragon offensive line and the defensive front of Resolution Prep.
And Waller really showing patience on all those runs, letting the linemen set up their blocks, making a couple of cuts, and running with some power. He is very stiff breeze here, 25 miles per hour at times, wind gusts out of the south, and anything you get up in the air, kicking with that wind at your back is going to carry.
They're going to have to hold it to get it to stay on the tee.
Yep. We knew there was going to be some wind today. Welcome, by the way, to all those in town for the Kansas State Fair as we are into the 2nd day of this year's fair.
Another deep kick and another one out the back of the end zone. And Gagan is showing it quite a leg as he has put it out the back of the end zone on 2 of the 3 occasions. The other one went into the end zone. And Resolution Prep will again set up shop at the 25-yard line. For those of you who worry about such things, were the Blue Dragons to continue at this scoring pace, it would be about 140 points. They won't, because the Blue Dragons are going to get a chance to see a lot of new faces out on the football field this afternoon.
Rusty, you know math better than Glenn and I times 3, so I'm going to go with you on that to average and not argue.
Rhodes gets a low snap and gets tripped up at the 21-yard line. So Dusty Rhodes not particularly agile on that situation, but was able to pick up the low snap and at least didn't surrender possession. So it is a 2nd down and 14 for Resolution Prep.
And the Dragons already going deep into their defense here as seeing a lot of numbers out there. We don't normally see this early in a contest, and that's good.
Dusty Rhodes ready to go, and you're right, they're taking that play clock down a long ways before snapping it. Rhodes points to his left, takes the snap, hands off, and the Dragons are right there, almost in time to intercept the handoff. And the play is a net loss of a couple of yards. Again, it is Cade Leach on the carry.
Jeremiah Hyde on the tackle.
It is 3rd down and 16. And we'll see what they set up here. We have 3 wideouts to the right side, 1 to the left. And Rhodes, ready in the gun, drops back, loads it up, throws it long, throws it over the middle. Not a bad throw, but it's incomplete, broken up at the 30-yard line.
Adrian Cross, spectacular defensive back for Hutchinson, one of our better guys in that secondary. And give the offensive line credit that time because the quarterback had time. Dragons even came on a blitz, were not able to get there, but it was good recognition and coverage by Cross.
4th down and 16, and Dusty Rhodes will punt it away. And we'll see if the Dragons get a return. This kick will go against the wind, and it's a stiff breeze.
I would suggest keeping the trajectory low.
Rhodes gets it off. Pretty decent kick. It is fielded at the 45-yard line by Cross, and he takes it all the way down to the 31, maybe the 32-yard line where his knee touched. Blue Dragons with a short field in front of them, leading 14-0 and 7:21 to play.
I think Adrian Cross really
any other time would have called for a fair catch, but decided he thought he might be able to take it back to the house. But do have one of the Wildcats a little banged up. Number 56 on the far side will head to the sideline. I think he's going to be okay. Adlin Coffey.
Sideline reports brought to you by Jackson Meats, Oliver's Beef and Brew, and Cahoon Kinesiology. Thank you to those fine sideline sponsors.
Blue Dragons from the 31 of Resolution Prep. Yeah, a handoff to the right side and a couple of nice spin moves, and down to the 21-yard line for Hutchinson goes Otis Williams. He's the third leading rusher on this team for the Blue Dragons after 2 games. And
it's kind of a three-headed monster with B.J. Emmons, Deshaun Waller, and Otis Williams. You can even go 4 and 5 deep if you want. You'll probably see that today, but those first 3, Rusty, are really good.
New quarterback for Hutchinson is Eric Forrest. He's number 2 on the depth chart.
And, this is the time to get guys some snaps because you're going to have to use your second quarterback in all odds at some point during the season for at least a few plays.
Forrest drops back, left hands it out to a wide open receiver at the 5-yard line, but it is overthrown, and I mean wide open. There wasn't a defensive back within 7 or 8 yards.
Yep, first time throwing the football, little nerves, juiced up a little bit, overshot his receiver, and it's always unique when you look down there and see a left-handed quarterback.
So the Blue Dragons look at a 2nd down and 10 at the 21-yard line. Forrest is in the shotgun. Man in motion across the formation. And it's a delayed handoff, and Otis Williams pounds up the middle, takes it close to the 15-yard line. A gain of about 6 for Otis.
Good job, though, by Resolution Prep that time, making it a little bit tougher for the Dragons as they continue to sub in a lot of their backup players. And, why not? Don't get any of your frontline guys hurt in a game like this because you've got a couple of huge ones coming up with Garden City and Highland.
It doesn't get any bigger than next week's game. Dragons ready to go. They have a 3rd down and 5. Eric Forrest is the quarterback. Loads it, fires it out to the left, and it is dropped. Put it right in the hands of his receiver, but a pretty good hit jarred the ball loose, and it'll be an incomplete pass for the Blue Dragons.
Yeah, that's Hunter Sims. And you're right. That's a good throw by the quarterback, and after contact couldn't hold on, but one the coaching staff will tell that young man when they watch film later that we have to catch those balls.
Yeah, any other given day, I think you're probably going to run in that situation. At least the Blue Dragons will with their power game, but that was a good try right there. Good defense by the Resolution.
4th down and 5 for the Dragons. Ball thrown over the middle. It is caught. Had the 1st down, gave it up. Now circling around, taking it down to the 5 or 6 yard line for Hutchinson. Big number 88, Brett Bell. I mean big, 6'6", 263 pounds. He's a freshman out of Wichita, Bishop Carroll.
Yep, Dad played in the NFL, was here. Saw him when I pulled into the stadium. Mom and Dad are here, very proud. And Mr. Bell kind of limps a little bit around after some of those years in the brutal National Football League.
It is a 1st down for Hutchinson at the 7-yard line of Resolution Prep.
It's blocked by Sims, by the way, to pop him for those extra yards.
Hand off to Williams. Williams gets outside, and there he goes. I'm not sure anybody laid a hand on him. He's into the end zone for the Dragons' 3rd score. This one comes with 5:19 to go in the first quarter.
I'm going to use a term, Rusty, you haven't used this year yet. He skitters. He skittered around that outside.
Well, he is so much quicker than any of the defensive players. It is almost an impossible task for Resolution Prep with their personnel to slow down this Dragon offense.
3 possessions for Hutchinson, 3 touchdowns. So far, no luck for Resolution Prep, and the extra point is up and good.
Niemeyer 3 for 3 in that category. The Dragons 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. 21-0. More in a minute.
Woods will be at the Kansas State Fair, and they're showing off their great lineup of hot spring spas with some great pricing to go along with them. In fact, during the fair, they're offering an instant rebate up to $1,000 on hot spring spas. Of course, the showroom will still be open during the fair, but the same great fair special in-store as well. While you're there, take a look at their new Eno line of hammocks, chairs, backpacks, and more. Jim's Water and Woods, 419 West 2nd in Hutchinson, and in the Meadowlark building on the fairgrounds.
For quality in product and in service, choose your Train air conditioning system from E&M Plumbing. E&M can supply you with high-efficiency Train systems with the same high-quality insulation you've come to expect from their long-time service experience. They'll answer any questions you have about the new high-efficiency Train units with no obligation. Thinking air conditioning? Think E&M Plumbing Incorporated, 701 West 2nd, 662-1281. After all, it's hard to stop a train.
Well, once again, Gagan puts the kickoff in the end zone, and once again, Resolution Prep brings it out to the 25-yard line as they don't try to run it out of the end zone. Blue Dragons, as expected, kind of having their way on this pretty Saturday afternoon, maybe a little bit warm for football. Certainly a nice breeze blowing, mitigating that a bit.
Well, nice breeze on the midway for all those in town for the fair here at Gowan Stadium. We are entertained by a football game in which it has been total domination by the Dragons.
Dragons threatening blitz on this first down snap. Dusty Rhodes takes a snap, drops back, pressure comes, unloads it, completes it in the middle of the field for a first down, and a nice job of running after the catch. Blue Dragons having a whale of a tough time getting on the ground. Aaron Trahan, young man out of Port Arthur, Texas, takes it all the way out to the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 15.
Yeah, Devin Henderson finally hog ties him to the ground, but that is a nice throw.
Chop block on the play is going to come back.
And
first down.
Just a tough penalty with Hutchinson dominating this game. You finally get a positive play and then a penalty that's going to back you up 15 yards.
It's a big one. It's going to take it back half the distance to the goal line.
That little catch and run right there where he kept going reminded me of chasing a little cap when I was younger, trying to bring him down.
I can't even picture that. I'm sorry.
Rarely in history would I bet on the calf.
But that time I would. Just saying, by the way.
We love you, Glenn.
I watched City Slickers the other night. It reminded me of the little cap that he
By the
said.
way, that's the best-looking hat in the stadium.
Thank you.
Today.
Appreciate that. My Savannah hat.
All right.
Rhodes fakes a handoff, throws left. Dragon diagnose it, and although it's a complete pass, it's going to go for more lost yardage.
Devin Henderson that time a much better job in coverage.
Young man for the Wildcats is banged up a little bit on that stop.
They don't have a lot of players get banged up, I can tell you that.
I'm not sure I have ever seen a program bring fewer players into Gowan Stadium, certainly not at the college level.
I can tell you this, I have never seen fewer fans in the stand on the visiting side of the field.
It's grown by 33 1/3%.
That's true. There's three of them now.
No, that's growing by infinity when you go from nothing to three.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, Rhodes ready, gets another low snap, has to pick it up, going to try to run with it, and as well to get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 25.
Dragons having no part of that. A lot of backup guys in the game. That's Clarence Hicks, defensive lineman from Pensacola, Florida. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of guys on the two-deep chart, so to speak, that can play at a high level. This roster is packed with talent, some 90-some on the roster.
And maybe you see somebody in a game like this that really catches your eye in game situation that all of a sudden becomes a big factor the rest of the way.
Film never lies, Rusty, and if you can get noticed, it's a good thing.
Rhodes, back near his goal line, eludes a tackle, still running around, not very speedy, and down he goes at the 1.
And that'll be Kayvon Parks, who is also a freshman from Florida. A lot of Dragon linemen, Glenn, on this roster from Florida, and you have to think their hearts are heavy.
Betcha. Matter of fact, that Hurricane Irma, I never have seen one as big as the state of Texas, just engulfing all of Florida. It's going to get bad down there.
Yeah, I hope that some miracle happens and it goes a different direction.
Just hope that people paid attention to the evacuation orders and get out of there. Lives can be rebuilt, but once you've lost one, there's not any consolation whatsoever for that bad decision. Rhodes will punt it out of the end zone if he can get it off, and he doesn't. It's blocked, and it scoots out to about the 9-yard line, picked up there by the Dragons and brought back to near the 5. So Hutchinson, with 2:28 to go in the period, will have another horribly short football field in front of them as they will start at the 5.
Kayvon Parks, 54, recovered it. I'm not sure, Glenn, who got a paw on it.
I think it might have been, well, I'm not sure. I was going to speculate.
Nonetheless, Hutchinson has the ball at the 5-yard line of Resolution Prep, scoring already on their first 3 drives. If you're wondering at home, the most points ever scored in a quarter is 42. That record will not be broken today.
At least not in this quarter.
Yeah, well, thank you, Rusty.
Forrest is the quarterback for the Blue Dragons. He goes under center this time. Drops back, wants to throw, left hands it out, just plays catch with his tight end. That's a touchdown, and that's about as easy a catch as you will ever see big number 87, Johnny Lumpkin, make. He just kind of stepped into the end zone, and the ball was delivered. Nobody close, and the Blue Dragons have 27 points.
6'6" freshman from Atlanta, Glenn.
Johnny Lumpkin has the perfect name for a football player. I just love that name, Johnny Lumpkin. Can stick some lumps on you out of that tight end position.
Niemeyer knocks the extra point through for the 4th time, and the Blue Dragons, with still 2:23 to go in the first quarter, have 28 points. It is 28-0. More football in a minute.
Just as the Hutchinson Blue Dragons athletics are a tradition, so is the Anchor Inn in downtown Hutchinson. Whether you plan lunch or dinner or even take out for home, the Anchor Inn is a great family restaurant that you are sure to enjoy. Order off their great menu or take advantage of the Anchor Inn's awesome buffet. You'll make a great choice either way. The Anchor Inn is also a great spot to meet up with old friends and acquaintances because everyone goes to the Anchor. That's the Anchor Inn at 128 South Main in Hutchinson, proud supporters of Hutchinson Blue Dragon Athletics.
Ever wonder why some wireless carriers charge so much more than others? At Nextech Wireless, you'll receive nationwide coverage, 4G LTE data, and unlimited data. But we don't overcharge you like some of the other carriers do. Plus, we have buy one, get one free smartphones and the best customer service. With more than 50 stores in our area, you can actually talk to us face to face. Tired of paying more and only getting more fees, charges, and a higher bill? Say goodbye to your carrier and hello to Nextech Wireless.
Well, Donovan Gagan is loving kicking off with this breeze at his back because once again he nails it into the end zone. That's not that easy to do, I'm telling you. You're kicking from the 35-yard line, and those kicks are sailing 70, 75 yards in the air.
4 for 4 on kicks, and it has been total domination, 28-0, 2:23 to go first quarter in this one.
Let's talk a little bit about...
I have to correct you, Rob. That's the 5th kickoff.
Yeah, that's the
Is
fifth
it the
kickoff.
5th? Thank you, Rusty.
First one.
That's true.
Guys, Gagin's doing a great job, and so is Niemeyer. We kind of don't talk about him until there's a field goal, but he's consistently been putting them through this year.
Very good.
Resolution Prep, for the 5th time in this game, begins at the 25-yard line. Rhodes hands off, and the Dragons are there immediately. I mean, the ball is not out of the hands of the quarterback before the running back is knocked down. That's Cade Leach, and he loses 3.
And that is Jaden Cunningham, defensive lineman from Georgia, 300 pounds. He's a backup guy you don't see a lot, and he looked impressive.
It is impossible to over-exaggerate the difference in ability between these two teams.
Yeah, and you got guys going 2 ways in a small roster, playing against a football team that has got probably 20-plus major Division I football athletes in the program, maybe 30. It's asking a lot.
Officials are now ready, finally. They
Yeah, the play clock was acting up a little bit.
Rhodes shifts a man from the right side to the left side of the formation. And now brings him back to the other side, hands him the football, and the Blue Dragons are not fooled. And immediately stop him for no gain. Nice job of reading the play that time by Drew Harvey.
Yep, number 33 from Illinois, a freshman, and I think I see a penalty flag down.
Yeah, you do. Harvey took his helmet off, and coach is really upset with him about that. So,
and it's a face mask call.
Yeah.
So that'll be the second first down of the game for Resolution Prep, and both have come on penalties.
Both have been on personal foul, 15-yard variety penalties. Hutchinson with 2 penalties in this first quarter, and that'll give Resolution Prep a first down, and this ball now placed at their 31-yard line.
Resolution Prep out of Arlington, Texas.
Well, Glenn, Rusty can't wait for this game to get over so he can make his annual trip out to the fair.
He got a free ticket last night, so he can't complain about the cost. Other than he'll probably complain about the gas to get there. He got those little moped thingies that you can ride around in, Rusty. He got those little things that you can rent. You know?
Rhodes drops back, loads it up, throws downfield as far as he can throw it. This one's going to be intercepted. Actually, should have been intercepted. 2 Blue Dragon defensive players were right there, and the presence of the other kind of prevented the interception. Back there were Edwards and
Jacobs.
It was not Edwards. It was Jacobs and Clemens.
And there was a flag dropped. Dragons are moving to the other side of the field, assuming that this is going to be some kind of a defensive pass interference penalty. I sure didn't see any, but you know what? In a game like this, the officials might be more apt to help out this football team from Resolution Prep. The penalty is on Hutchinson. It'll be their 3rd of the game.
And again, although it's not going to matter in this football game, this is something that Blue Dragon coaches feel like they have to get under control, because you make these kind of mistakes next week at Garden City against the defending national champions, and they will hurt you badly.
Been averaging about 13 penalties a game through the first 2, and that is way too many.
So the ball in Dragon Country for the first time. Rhodes drops back, unloads it over the middle, and it is incomplete. Pretty decent coverage, but the ball hit the hands of the intended receiver.
And another penalty. Okay, Chris Allen decked the quarterback, and I think they're going to say unnecessary roughness.
That's the bad thing that happens in a game like this. It's guys got to get that out of their repertoire.
Well, if it does go against Hutchinson, it will be the 4th penalty against the Dragons, 3 of which would be of the personal foul variety. Officials huddled up right now at about the 45-yard line.
I don't think there's any question but that it's going to go against the Blue Dragons.
And after...
Although there's a lot of discussion going on.
Yep. Don't know if they'll pick it up. Probably not. We have...
Or did we have somebody...
Unsportsmanlike
conduct on Hutch. That's a major. That'll move it from the Hutchinson 49 to the 34-yard line.
It's offsetting, I think, guys. It's on both.
And then we had taunting against Resolution Prep, so let's just play this down over again.
All right, leave it at the 49-yard line. 1:16 to go in the first quarter. Hutchinson 28-0 over Resolution Prep. Dragons will move to 2-1 after this football game concludes.
Might be the earliest you've ever called a game, Rusty.
I like these noon starts on Saturday.
I love them.
Didn't think I would, but I've gotten to where I really enjoy them.
It's college football Saturday.
I wish the league played all its games at noon. Well, there's a wide receiver on the right side jumps offside by about 4 or 5 yards.
The count was on 2, and he went on 1, and he wanted to make sure he got a head start.
He was a little bit sheepish on that one. That was Mark Bonnet.
3rd penalty against Resolution. That'll make things even tougher for them as they now face a 2nd down and 15.
And the ball backed up to their 46-yard line. 1:16 left first quarter. Hutchinson 28, Resolution Prep nothing. Dusty Rhodes is the quarterback. Has 2 wideouts to each side. Drops back, loads it up, puts it up for grabs, and nobody can get to it. The closest to where that football came down was Blue Dragon defender Devon Henderson.
Well, right now, minus 17 yards offense for Resolution Prep, as that pass was about 20 yards over the receiver's head.
3rd down and 15 at the 46-yard line. And Resolution Prep now has gone to throwing it on most plays. So that's going to extend the game and make it possible for the Dragons to get a lot of extra possessions if they continue.
3rd down long into the teeth of this wind. Blitz coming.
Here comes pressure, and they've got Rhodes back at the 39-yard line.
No chance.
So there is a loss of about 7 more, and it'll be 4th down, and the Dragons will be the recipients, presumably, of a punt from Resolution Prep.
Yep, that was Caleb Bryce, linebacker from Rock Hill, South Carolina, making a nice hit on the quarterback. Sack, 4th down and long coming up.
Marquise Edwards is the lone player back for the Blue Dragons. And punting it will be Dusty Rhodes. Got his last one blocked. This one he gets off, a pretty decent one. Fielded at the 29-yard line. Out to the 34, 35-yard line, maybe the 36, 37. Decent return by Marquise Edwards. And the Blue Dragons will have possession with 14 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter. Hutchinson on top, 28-0.
Well, a question I'd have for SI Steve Carpenter, and I'm sure it's happened. The Dragons play an opponent that was held to negative yardage at the end of a football game, but wondering what the most negative yards ever in a football game was, and right now we're on pace for that to possibly happen because total offense right now, minus 24 yards for Resolution.
I would almost guess that that's a stat that would be impossible to research.
It really could be.
I'm not sure why anybody would keep track of that. Blue Dragons will get the football back. Time for at least one more play here in the first quarter. And do we have a new quarterback? I believe we do. Chris James, who started last season at quarterback for the Blue Dragons.
Kind of buried on this year's depth chart.
Yeah, he is number 3. 3 quarterbacks in for the Dragons so far. James is a pretty good passer. And he rolls out to his left, loads it up, throws it in the middle of the field, throws it incomplete.
Boy, that ball very easily, Glenn Grunwald, could have been a pick six.
Yeah, really could. He mishandled the snap, and as he's peeled out, finally, all of a sudden he realized there was a defensive player right down on him and let it rip.
Oliver's Beef and Brew, Jackson Meat, Ty Cahoon Kinesiology, bringing you Glenn's sideline reports. I look down there and I see that hat, and I'm tempted to say Buana.
I'm waiting for him to pull out a Cuban cigar.
James stands back in the shotgun.
You give me one, I will, big guy.
Hands off, and I think that's Otis Williams. A flag dropped.
Yep.
Down the sideline goes Williams for a big gain, but it's coming back.
Andrew Lee on the run, guy number 22, and and there's a flag. It's coming back anyway.
This would be the 4th penalty on the Hutchinson football team.
And that also is the last play of the quarter. So let's take a 1-minute break. We'll be back with period number 2 with the Dragons facing.
They'll have one more untimed down, guys. They're going to have one more untimed down at the end of the quarter.
All right. So they bring the ball back to the 29-yard line, and we'll stay here for the final play of the quarter. It'll be a 2nd down all over again, 2nd down and 17. Dragons have scored every time they've had the football. Might be a little bit more of a challenge right here. 3rd string quarterback, Chris James, will see what he can do. Goes under center. Hands off, good blocking on the side, and the Dragons are going to get a big gainer to the 50 and down to the 40-yard line once again. That was Andrew Lee. Big gain for the Blue Dragons. The line of scrimmage was the 29. They're going to spot the ball at the 40. It's a 31-yard gain for Mr. Lee on the last play of the first quarter, which ends with Hutchinson on top, 28-0. Second quarter coming up in a minute.
Hello, this is Tom Elliott of Elliott Mortuary, and again this year we are pleased to help sponsor HCC Blue Dragon Sports. We encourage you to support all the Blue Dragon games, both home and away, with your attendance, but if not, we hope you enjoy listening to the game here on KWBW and Country 102.9. Elliott Mortuary and Crematory, a proud sponsor of Hutchinson Community College, and honored to have served the families of Hutchinson and Reno County since 1935.
Hi, I'm Ken Hyman, General Manager of Midwest Superstore in Hutchinson. We're proud to be a sponsor of HCC Sports. You have choices when it comes to your vehicle purchases, and a better way is more than a slogan. Any new or select pre-owned purchase comes with our Advantage Rewards benefits. That includes complimentary car washes with every service visit, a loaner car with any major service, including oil changes and tire rotations. A better way also means no high-pressure sales tactics. Everyone has deals, but do they take care of you after the sale? Visit us at MidwestSuperstore.com and go Blue Dragons.
Rob handed me the stats. Rob, they're all yours. I don't have to look at them to see the total dominance of Hutchinson in this football game.
Hutchinson with 160 yards of total offense to negative 32 yards for Resolution Prep. Really the thing hurting the Dragons is penalties, 4 of them already for almost 50 yards.
First play of the second quarter starts with Hutchinson at the 40 of Resolution Prep. James back to throw, sets up, stays in the pocket, now rolls to his right, has some room to run, tucks it under at the 40, at the 30, and run out of bounds very close to the 30-yard line, very close to a first down, may have gotten it.
You know, Glenn, he came in as a Division I transfer and started last year, and we find out today that he's third on the depth chart.
Yeah, he got hurt in the Iowa Western game last year, was out all season long, and then came back, kind of was even throughout the summer workouts, but then fell to that third spot by the second game. So this is his first appearance this year.
And coaches say that he tries to fit the ball into too tough of situations, thinks he can throw it into very small windows. Dragons keep it on the ground here and get another big gain on first down to the 21-yard line.
Coaches like a quarterback that takes care of the football, and when you turn it over, you're less apt to get on the field.
When you look at the Dragon season a year ago, Hutchinson was 5-6, could easily have been 11-2. I mean, they were a team that were snake-bit in close games. The difference was turnovers. Hutchinson was -8 on turnovers a year ago, and that's going to cost you a lot of close games.
And he had a lot of those turnovers.
James is in the gun here on 2nd down and 1. Sees the field, floats it upfield, and throws it out of the reach of Cross, who was open at the 1-yard line.
He was as wide open as you'll ever get, and that time just missed him. You can't run a better route. You can't get more wide open, and if you're a quarterback wanting to play at this level, that's a ball that you got to complete.
It's a good time to throw, though. It's third down and short, 3rd down and 1. The Dragons figure to have no problem picking that up. I wouldn't be surprised to see him throw it again right here. The running back is Andrew Lee, youngster out of Folkestone, Georgia.
4th on the depth chart at running back and still very solid.
Dragons will throw James, and now they're going to pay for it as James is swallowed up back at the 26-yard line. And it'll be 4th down and 6 for the Blue Dragons at the 26-yard line.
First sack allowed by the Dragon offensive line in this contest.
And potentially the first time in this football game that the Dragons will have had a possession that didn't end in a score. Need a good, healthy 6 yards on 4th down. Now maybe that decision to throw on 3rd and short doesn't look quite as good. But the Dragons have picked up a lot of runs in this game, far greater than 6 yards.
When they rewatch the film, they'll say it's 3rd and 1. You can't take a sack in that situation. Throw the ball away.
And James wants to throw it again, has all kinds of time and throws it out in the flat. It is caught, but is it out of bounds?
Nope, out of bounds.
It is out of bounds. So the Dragons turn it over on downs. And the first hold of the game for Resolution Prep comes as they stop Hutchinson at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, good route that time, run by Marquise Whitmire.
Yeah, Whitmire.
And he was open. Ball just kind of sailed a little bit on James.
Talking to Taylor Humphrey down here, he said how they're doing it is first first team goes two sets, and the next second team goes 2 sets, and the third, then they rotate back again.
Good to know. Thanks, Glenn. Good reporting on the sidelines as always.
And Resolution Prep gets the ball back, still down 28-0. Dusty Rhodes is the quarterback.
Every time you say his name, I think of that good old wrestler, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
Spells the name the same way, too.
You can go a lot farther back than that. Now you got to go back almost
go
60
movies.
years. No, there was a baseball player. I think he played for the Giants by the name of Dusty Rhodes.
Well, there's only one in the booth that could do that, and that would be you.
Quarterback is swallowed up back inside the right at the 20-yard line.
Nice sack that time by the Dragons. That is Jalen Pants, linebacker from Florida. This Dragon lineup is full of Floridians.
If I remember correctly, that Dusty Rhodes got a batch of hits against the Cleveland Indians in the 1954 World Series.
It's impressive.
Don't check me on that.
I only remember Dusty Rhodes the wrestler.
It is second down and a bunch. I bet we got some listeners out there that
guaranteed
remember Dusty Rhodes. Dragons threatening blitz. Rhodes hands off, and the running backs for Resolution Prep just simply have no chance. And it does not matter who is out there defensively for the Blue Dragons. The running backs are just swallowed up the minute they get the football.
Yeah, Jeremiah Fordham, number 45, Jaden Cunningham, who is from Georgia, the two backers in on that play.
And the negative yardage continues to pile up, as now it is third down, and we'll call it 18.
Or defensive lineman, I should say.
11:35 to go in the first half. Blue Dragons scored on their first 4 possessions. Resolution Prep has not threatened
and a timeout. The clock was down to 1 second, and a smart timeout that time by Resolution Prep.
All right, we'll take a minute and be right back.
Season it may be. If you suffer any kind of sports injury, call the outstanding doctors at Pinnacle Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Doctors Lowen and Severud have effectively treated virtually every kind of sports injury. They use the most advanced arthroscopic surgical techniques available to medicine. You'll also work closely with their highly trained physical therapists every step of your rehab. Get back in the game with Pinnacle Sports Medicine. Call 662-6000 to schedule your appointment or visit them online at summitks.com.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Dragons! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Third down and 8, fumbled snap by Rhodes. He picks it up, but that costs him about 5 more yards. And the negative yards are piling up, and although the Blue Dragons have been on defense this whole set of downs, they have gained about 14 or 15 yards in field position.
One positive thing here for Resolution Prep, now that they'll have to punt the football, they've at least got the wind at their back. It's a brisk wind here at Gowan Stadium, and that should help somewhat to maybe not give the Dragons such good field position in which they've had this entire game.
Glenn, is that Marquise Whitmire back for the Dragons? I think it might be.
Yeah, it is. It's Whitmire. He's on 45.
Punt is decent, angled away from Whitmire, and he has to watch it bounce. Don't be tempted to pick it up now. That's going to be a heck of a punt. It is still rolling. It rolls down to the Hutchinson 16-yard line. Let's check that one out from the 14, 36, and 34. 70-yard punt.
That's what I talked about. Wind at their back. A lot of things can happen, and especially when you're on artificial turf like this, and that will at least help Resolution Prep's cause a bit.
Coaches say it costs you about 10 yards of field position every time you don't handle a punt. That time, it cost them about 20 or 25.
And speaking of costing yards, 36 negative yards of offense for Resolution Prep, as we have 10:25 to play yet in the second quarter.
And the quarterback will continue to be Chris James. Running back for the Blue Dragons, Desmond Jackson.
Well, as Glenn said, the game plan was to maybe do 2 sets apiece for the first, second, and third string, and this unit here would be considered the third string.
Jackson gets the ball, big hole up the middle, and he bursts through it at the 30, at the 35, still on his feet at the 40, breaks a tackle, fumbles the football at the 45, 46-yard line, and Resolution Prep thinks they have covered it up.
And they have. And that young man right there, after an outstanding run, is going to learn that if you don't take care of the rock, you won't get on the field a lot, and that's just a unfortunate mistake.
Yeah, he kept spinning and spinning, and one of those spins turned out to have a Resolution Prep arm in there and just yanked the ball loose. So, yeah, you're right. Cover it up, maybe go down, keep trying to churn away, but cover that football up.
Second possession of the game for the Dragons in which they didn't score. This one ending on a turnover. The other one, the preceding possession by the Dragons, that ran out of downs.
Jackson Meat, Oliver's Beef and Brew, and Cahoon Kinesiology are sideline sponsors for Glenn Grunwald, sporting that fancy hat on the sideline.
Well, listen, I was so sunburned from 2 weeks ago.
That's because I told you to put sunblock on.
I looked like a shriveled up snake the next day on the morning show that Friday, Monday morning.
Didn't listen to me.
I know I didn't.
Resolution Prep, and a flag flies as they snap it directly to Jalen Jones, who angles off to the left and gets about 7 or 8, but I think this one may come back.
Yeah, it has to be a hold, I would think.
Pretty sure this one is going to be against Resolution, as making the tackle now back some of those first-string defensive players out there. That was Story Jackson, leads the Dragon defense from his safety position and tackles.
There's no foul.
No foul.
Now they're going to pick it up.
Why not?
All right.
I have no problem with that.
Give him 8 on the carry.
Yeah, nice job. Direct snap was to Jalen Jones, a young man from Euless, Texas. Actually got a couple of pretty good blocks on the left side. It is second down and short, 2nd and 2 at the Blue Dragon 38-yard line. And the Dragons stopped the running play for a short game. Might have been enough, though, for a first down.
First there, Clarence Hicks, D lineman from Pensacola, Florida for Hutchinson.
And Jalen Jones stayed in there to take the snap that time.
And right now, a yard away from getting a first down here on their own. They've had some first downs in this contest, and most of them have been because of penalties.
It is 3rd down and 1 for Resolution Prep at the Blue Dragon 37-yard line. By far the best field position for Resolution Prep. And it's not going to last for very long. Now the ball pops loose. Was it a fumble? Dragons pick it up, and they're not going to let them run with the ball. But either the quarterback is down at the 49-yard line or the ball is dead where it was recovered.
It's going to be a sack, and I'm pretty sure they're going to call the quarterback down.
They're going to say it's an incomplete pass, which is an even better scenario.
Wow. I'm not sure I ever saw that ball leave his hand or go forward. But
well, if it was thrown, it was backwards, wasn't it?
Sure appeared to be. In any other game, we'd probably make something of it, but in this one,
4th down and 1.
We'll let her go.
And we're back to... Are we back to Rhodes? No. Who's that quarterback in there? Is that Ron Williams? Those numbers with the diagonal slice through them are tough. I believe that's... I think I'm looking at Ron Williams, I think, number 7.
I think you're correct. Out of Arlington, Texas, 6'2", 230.
Now there's a flag.
This will be probably some kind of a substitution foul against the offense, as the official is going to tell us.
Gives us an opportunity, Rob, especially since we're down. It's intentional grounding is what they're going to call. Now that we're...
Yeah, that's the right call.
That makes a lot more sense than... So it's going to be 4th down and very long.
Say that again, Glenn.
Well, I was going to say we're simulcasting on BW for people to stop by the BW booth at Pulse Plus booth at the fair and pick up your rain gauge.
That's right. Morning show crew will be back out there bright and early at 7:15 Monday morning through 10 o'clock.
Rusty probably has one of those automatic mechanical wingdings on his smartphone that tells him that's when it rained.
Quarterback draw. Dragons chasing. They've got Williams by the jersey, and they haul him down at the 50-yard line. It basically is no gain. And now the Dragons will take over on downs at midfield.
Yeah, big fella Anthony Ramsey, 5'11", 326 pounds from Georgia at his nose tackle position, grabbing the player by the jersey and just throwing him to the ground.
Blue Dragons have not scored in the second quarter after scoring all 4 times it had the football in the first. And let's see, the quarterback will be Eric Forrest now.
Not sure we'll see Jones again. Maybe we'll alternate between the second and third string quarterbacks.
Forrest stands in that shotgun. Left hands it out in the flat, dropped, incomplete pass. And that is just carelessness on the part of the receiver because Jalik Jagway just simply didn't concentrate it into his hands.
Started to run before put it away, so.
From Alabama. I'm impressed with this Eric Forrest. Good composure. He's been fairly accurate on his passes, and he's had some receivers with some drops when he's been in there. He's done his part.
Second down and 10 at midfield for Hutchinson. Forrest hands off, and a big hole and through it, and run out of bounds at the 38-yard line goes Blue Dragon Desmond Jackson.
Fumbled his last carry, and he had a 29-yard pickup and another nice run there. We're looking now at going 5 deep for the Dragon running backs, and I don't see a drop-off anywhere.
That is a pickup of 14 yards on the first down run. 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. 28-0, Hutchinson.
I've been impressed with Jackson. We've had some years when you had the smaller rosters and be down to a third and fourth string back that didn't look like this. And
he's going to get another chance, and this time he might get a touchdown. To the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and that is a Blue Dragon touchdown. And I do not believe that from 36 yards out anybody put a hand on him.
Well, that's going to give the Dragons now almost 240 yards of offense to negative 27 yards for Resolution Prep as Hutchinson appears to have scored.
Excuse me, there is a flag that I didn't see, resting at the 13-yard line.
Well, and
it had nothing to do with the run, but that doesn't mean that it won't nullify it. No, it's a touchdown. Penalties on the defense.
Personal foul after against Resolution Prep. That will be their 4th penalty, and they will tack that on to the kickoff.
And now Luke Niemeyer, who has been automatic so far this year on extra points, will try to make it 5 of 5 in this game out of the hold of Chris James.
Niemeyer is a special kicker, and Ryan Rhodes has very high and good things to say about that young man.
Low snap, but they get it down, they get the kick up, and Niemeyer again tacks on the extra point. 35-0. Still 8 minutes, 13 seconds to go in the first half. We'll have the Dragon kickoff in a minute.
We all like to save money when and where we can, right? You can do that every day at Salt City Pawn and Jewelry. Hi, this is owner Paul Phillips inviting you to stop in and say hi to our friendly staff. And while you're here, check out over 3,000 square feet of great merchandise priced at outstanding values. We don't have to offer huge sale prices for one day only when we do that on a daily basis. Save big over retail prices on firearms, electronics, guitars and amps, name brand tools, video games, jewelry, and more. See us at 916 East 4th and Hutch, just east of 4th and Severance. We're proud to be alumni and supporters of all Blue Dragon athletics.
HCC Sports is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert F. of the Hutchinson Clinic, Barkley Plumbing, Burning Chiropractic Center, Tim and Gina Ritter, along with Brian Strange of the Green Vision Group, Sutton Kaufman Transmission Service, Wade Patton Insurance, A&A Builders, Bold Office Shares, Mega Manufacturing, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Lowen Corporation, and by Mann, Wyatt, and Rice, LLC. These Sportscaster Club members help provide funds for HCC scholarships.
Well, Donovan Gagan in the first quarter, kicking with the wind at his back, put it in the end zone every time. That was 5 in all. He'll kick against that same breeze right here, but from the 50-yard line after the personal foul walk-off, he may be able to drill it into the end zone. Does anyhow. They're going to bring it out this time. Probably a bad decision. Yep, down at the 5.
That right there was not a good idea. You've got the touchback. Get the ball out at the 25-yard line. Instead, you try to make something happen. Now, struggling on offense. You will start, it appears, at about the 5-yard line.
And the way the Blue Dragons have dominated defensively against this offense, you have to think that even though the ball sits at the 6-yard line, a safety is certainly a very, very distinct possibility because Hutchinson has just dominated the line of scrimmage.
Second team defense out for the Dragons right now. That hasn't mattered.
The quarterback looks like they're going to snap it to Jalen Jones, but let's see. They do. He hands off, and kind of just waiting to be tackled was Garrett Hunter. He turned his back, just tried to protect the football, might have gained a yard or so. So it'll be second down, very long, nearing the middle of the second quarter.
And I'm sure if you're Resolution prep, keeping it on the ground, letting the clock run is exactly what you want.
Yeah, I think this team will look forward to getting on the bus for the 7.5-hour drive back to Arlington. There's a handoff, an aggressive play off the right side. That time the running back hits the hole with some oomph, and he gets back the yard they lost on first down. It'll still be a 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, only pickup of a couple there. Hutchinson up 35-0. We are in the second quarter with about 7 minutes to play. As expected, all Hutchinson.
Here's another name that you'll like. That running back is Miles Davis.
Miles Davis.
3rd down long, low snap, and the pass is thrown into the ground. They were trying to get it out in the right flat.
Glenn, he couldn't get rid of that ball quick enough.
No, he could. He fired it quickly and fell incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down.
Wind at the back of the punter, and the last time that Resolution punted, Rusty, it was 70 yards.
Yep. It's a distinct possibility. Right now, the Blue Dragons don't have anybody back. Now they'll put Whitmire back at about the 45-yard line. Punt will come out of the end zone, and the punter this time is Mark Bonnet.
Dragons have already blocked one punt in this contest.
Gets it off, spinning, hard to handle. Whitmire does so, though, at the 40-yard line, dancing around, has room to run, flag flies. This is coming back, but Whitmire doing a nice job taking it to the right side. Still with it. He'll take it to the 10, to the 5, run out of bounds there, but a flag dropped back at the 38, almost certainly a block in the back.
Yep, it was. Easy call on the outside for the officials to make, so Hutchinson, which would have been inside the 10-yard line now, will probably be backed up closer to midfield.
Still gives you an opportunity to see what Marquise Whitmire can do. He's pretty elusive.
And getting up slowly down there is Kelvin Clemens.
Clemens goes down on knees right at about the 28-yard line, see if he can get off the field.
Looks like an ankle to me.
He's a young man out of Lutz, Florida.
Don't want to see that happen.
Not putting much weight at all on that left ankle. Penalty walk-off will take the ball back near midfield. They put it down at the 48-yard line of Resolution Prep. Blue Dragons have it back, leading 35-0 with 6.5 minutes to play in the first half. The quarterback for Hutchinson is Eric Forrest. Handles the snap, floats it downfield, wide open receiver. This will be a Blue Dragon touchdown. Marquise Edwards takes it 48 yards off the throw. And the Blue Dragons are in the end zone once again, and it is 41-0. Still 6:21 to play in the first half.
Yeah, pretty easy play there for Hutchinson. By the way, score to pass along. K-State leading Charlotte 38-7, just underway in the third quarter. Jayhawks will play Central Michigan as that comes away at 3 o'clock.
That'll be a competitive game.
And how about Bill Self last night, Rusty, going into the Hall of Fame?
Where he certainly deserves to be. Extra point by Niemeyer once again is good. Make it 42-0, 6:21 to go. Another Hutchinson kickoff, and there have been a bundle of them. This one just 1 minute away.
For over 15 years, Erickson Custom Building has helped homeowners bring their remodel ideas to life. If you're looking to update a kitchen or bathroom or hoping to remodel your entire home, trust the team at Erickson Custom Building. We create customized plans designed around your dreams, ideas, and budget. For quality and follow-through on any home project, call Erickson Custom Building at 620-585-2816 or visit ericksoncustombldg.com.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Squib kick down the middle of the field, bounces away, touched and covered up fine. Now loose again. Big scramble for it. They're going to say, I think, that Resolution Prep has it at about the 25-yard line.
They do. And their possession, where they have been ineffective with about anything that they have tried, still 27 negative yards of offense to Hutchinson's 203.
Do they have any positive yards in the passing game? I'm sure the running game is all negative.
They have 8 yards of positive yardage throwing the ball.
And let's see, we'll check out the quarterback. Looks like it's going to continue to be Jalen Jones. Jones sits back in the shotgun. They start from the 25-yard line. They'll start with a throw. It is caught for a short gain. Blue Dragons immediately make a play. The ball was caught by LaDavian Washington. Defensively for the Blue Dragons on the stop, Jerry Jacobs.
Yep, he's been good. Jacobs has been solid. Freshman from Georgia.
And although it's a pass completion, it goes for -1 yard.
So that 8 positive yards goes to 7.
Jerry is the king of chase the ace at our house.
Now, you're telling me that he is pretty entertaining young man.
He plays a great game at chase the ace. He's undefeated at the Grunwald household.
So is it out to the right flat, and it's incomplete?
Yep, ball hit the receiver right square in the hands. Good job by the quarterback that time. Offensive line gave him time, and wouldn't have been much as far as yardage after the completion, but it still should have been caught.
So it is 3rd down and 11, and again the incomplete passes, freezing the clock, giving Hutchinson more possessions. There has certainly been no attempt by the Blue Dragons to run up the score in this game, but the score continues to mount at 42-0.
Yeah, they're just taking what's being given to them.
Dragons threatening blitz. Ball's on the ground now. They scramble for it.
And they've got it.
And I think Hutchinson has it at the 20-yard line.
Yep, great play. Blitz that time, Kayvon Parks. We've called his number a lot, from Florida. And it appears that Hutchinson has the ball, although the officials are meeting because of a flag that is right in front of the Resolution Prep bench.
Yeah, it's clear on the far side over there.
Offside Dragons. That negates the fumble recovery. And that's a silly penalty. That's one in a game against a type of team like Garden City that can change a ball game in a season.
You would have had a possession about 20, 25 yards away. Now they're going to get to run another play, get another chance at a first down, although it's still 3rd down and 6. 5.5 minutes to play in the first half. Rusty Hills, Glenn Grunwald, Rob Dreyer with you on a somewhat hazy but nice Saturday afternoon. And they're trying to get to the right edge. Good luck with that. And it's going to be a -2 yards. When you run backwards against a defense that is quicker than you are offensively, only negative yards are going to be the result, and that was the case there, and now it is definitely a punt situation.
Jeremy Hyde, also from Florida, making that tackle. The good thing is, when you do punt at this place on the field, the wind's at your back. That has been very advantageous so far for the punting game for Resolution Prep.
Well, it's definitely punt time, although at the moment the Dragons have nobody back. 4:40 to play in the first half. Doesn't look like they're going to punt unless they're going to
Yep, they're going to go for it on fourth down. Dragons chasing. A little bit of room to run for Jalen Jones, and he may have gotten a first down. He did get a first down. Nice play by Jones. Saw all kinds of room to his left. Dragons lost containment on that side, and they moved the chains, and there is a big positive gain on the running game.
And all this coming after you appeared to have a fumble recovery that was negated because of an offside penalty against the defense.
So the ball at the 39-yard line, 4 minutes to go in the first half. And another set of downs. Jalen Jones has done a pretty decent job at quarterback. He wants to throw it over the middle. It's too high, and it's picked off by the Blue Dragons. Intercepted at the 45-yard line to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, 30, 25, 20. This will be a Dragon touchdown. A pick six by Blue Dragon defender Kendall Robinson.
Yeah, great job by the freshman from Tennessee. First time we've called his number that I can remember, and that's just reading and playing the quarterback as well as you can from the secondary.
So the Blue Dragon point total reaches 48 with 3:41 to go in the first half, and Mr. Niemeyer, who may have to have his leg iced just from overuse in this game, will try to add his 7th extra point to the first half, and he's just about automatic. And that one drilled right down the middle, 49-0. More football in a minute.
Just when you thought you were done with taxes, you got a letter from the IRS. Maybe you're being audited, or maybe you filed for an extension and still need some tax help. We at H&R Block are there for you. We don't stop working on April 15th. Our tax professionals are here to help you year-round. So if you have tax issues you need a hand with, even if H&R Block didn't do your taxes the first time around, visit our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, or Ellsworth and let our experienced tax professionals help get you every dollar you deserve.
The Rothy family name has always been connected to serving the Hutchinson community, and you can expect the same kind of high-quality service when you visit Rothy Family Flooring. They believe you deserve to be treated like family, so they've invested in their own talented and trustworthy installers to lay your floors. No outside contractors will ever knock on your door if Rothy works for you. Let them show you their expansive selection of name-brand flooring and trust your home to the best. Rothy Family Flooring, 325 North Main, Hutchinson.
Donovan Gagan approaches the football, which falls off the tee, so he'll re-tee it. Last time kicking against the breeze, he kicked it very low down the field. Now Blue Dragon Tavian Allen comes in to hold the ball on the tee.
Should get a return here if you're Resolution prep because of this breeze. Pretty sure that the ball won't end up in the end zone here.
It's on the ground all the way, and a flag flies, and I think Hutchinson's offsides.
Yep, if you throw the flags that early, it's going to be that call, and that would be another penalty, the 5th for Hutchinson.
And to be honest, you have all kinds of different combinations of kids out there. Some of those kind of penalties they're just going to happen. But the Dragons will have to kick off again from 5 yards farther back. 3:41 remaining in the first half, which has really moved along pretty quickly. We're an hour and 16, 17 minutes into the game is all. And again, holding the ball on the tee, Tavian Allen. And now, let's see if the Dragons can stay on sides.
Well, I'll say this, Rusty, the 3 fans that were here for Resolution Prep are still here. So we'll give them credit there.
And they may not be fans of Resolution Prep. They may just like the fact that
could be.
They may be antisocial people because they're sitting over there and nobody's within
That's true.
8 rows of the other one.
And we 3:41 to go in this first half.
And now we have another conference between the officials at midfield. What's that all about?
That's a good question.
Meanwhile, Donovan Gagan has been ready to kick off for some time. They haven't assessed the penalty, for one thing, because they threw the flag. They didn't assess a penalty.
Well, Devin Henderson is the one I feel sorry for because he's been bent over holding the football now for 5 minutes.
Had that been I that was holding that football, I might have continued to stay in that bent-over position. Finally, the kickoff. It's on the ground as expected. Ricochets down to the 35-yard line, picked up there and brought back out to the 42, 43-yard line. Decent field position with 3.5 minutes to play in the first half for Resolution Prep. This game from the very outset has been a rout. Hutchinson on top, 49-0. The Blue Dragons have dominated every aspect of this game that can be dominated.
Antoine Benjamin, number 40, making a nice special team tackle there, as so far yardage-wise still negative for Resolution, as they have 27 negative yards of offense to the Dragons' 203.
All right, again, these big old linemen have to be getting a little bit tired because they're playing on both sides of the football.
And they have another half to go.
Going to be a pass play? No, it isn't, because the Blue Dragons are in there in a hurry and dumped on his derriere back at the 36-yard line was Jalen Jones.
Clarence Hicks appears to have a sack, but there was a penalty flag thrown again, and I think this one will possibly go against Resolution.
Yeah, they're acting like it's on them.
So the play doesn't happen.
Okay.
It's a false start penalty. Oh, it's declined. Okay. So they will count the sack.
I did not know that you could decline.
I thought, well, I mean, I thought it happened before the play took place, and maybe they're going to try to figure that out right now.
It would be a great break for Resolution Prep if they assessed a penalty. Now we're going to have another conference by the officiating crew.
Both of our assumptions were that the play never happened because of the false start.
And I think that's what's going to happen now. The officials are going to agree with us, and they'll assess the penalty.
Well, they're trying to get things going down there also.
All right, so the ball backed up to the 39-yard line, wipes out the sack, and makes it a first down and 15. Dragons coming with pressure, and the ball unloaded over the middle, intercepted by Hutchinson at the 47-yard line. Quarterback threw a ball that should never have been thrown.
And that was great pressure by the Dragon defense. Chris Allen, 42, linebacker from Norcross, Georgia, with the pick. Another turnover on this possession by Resolution, and Hutchinson in business, already leading 49-0.
And again, the clock doesn't move with all the penalties and incomplete passes. And Hutchinson will have it 46 yards away, and a pretty good bet to put it in the end zone one more time.
49-0, and the Dragons have 203 yards of offense. That says a lot.
All right, let's see the quarterback. It will be Eric Forrest, who has been impressive.
A lot of times when you have 49 points, you put 400 or 500 yards of offense up on the field.
Haven't had very many long drives.
Nope.
And they give it up the middle, and a pretty good job of running with the ball, and down to the 40-yard line, a gain of 6.
We are now 6 deep in running backs. That is Bradley D.
I was going to say that's a new number.
And they've all been effective.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference who they are. They are picking up big-time yardage.
And give credit to the offensive front for doing that for them.
Almost everybody that's been out there for the Blue Dragons has played well against an obviously outclassed opponent. Second down and 3. Again, Glenn on the sideline, thanks to our good sponsors, and we'll tell you about them right after this play. Forrest hands off, big hole on the left side, and buckling his way through it and carrying people with him all the way down to the 27-yard line for the Blue Dragons. That was Devin Miller.
Yep, fullback slipped it to the big guy, and he was tough to bring down. Sideline reports, as you were talking about, Jackson Meat, Oliver's Beef and Brew, and Cahoon Kinesiology.
Blue Dragons with a first down at the 26-yard line. Trying to get it into the end zone one more time, which would be the 8th time in the first half.
Well, mercifully, the Dragons are taking their time, running as much time off the play clock as they can before they snap the ball, and they'd like to go to the locker room here quickly.
And the give is straight up the middle, and another run by the Dragons down to the 21-yard line. That's a pickup of 5. And again, it was
Devin Miller,
the big old fullback that you talked about, Devin Miller.
Nothing fancy, just run the ball straight ahead, get this thing to halftime. Dragons lead 49-0, and not sure what else you have to prove.
Has a sweet hometown, Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Bada bing.
At the 22-yard line, 2nd down, 6. Minute 20 to play in the first half. I don't think the Dragons are really trying to score here.
No,
we'll see.
They don't. They're just running straight off up the middle. Same thing again.
But a hole and loose at the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 touchdown. Blue Dragon touchdown. This one comes from Bradley D. And the Blue Dragons now have put up 55 in the first half. And assuming that Niemeyer converts this extra point, it will be evenly distributed. 28 in the first, 28 in the second.
What was that pace when we were early in the first
about
quarter?
140. Now it's about 112. I don't think the Dragons will allow that to happen, but it may not be possible to keep it from happening. There's Niemeyer's extra point. He continues to hammer him through. It is 56-0. A minute 2 to go in the first half. We'll have more in a minute.
Sure, there are lots of choices around for a primary care physician, but it's not about how many. It's about just one, the right one for you. When you experience the sincerity and attentiveness of the family doctors and PAs at Prairie Star and our sliding fee scale, you'll know you made the right choice. Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
Once again, Jim's Water and Woods will be at the Kansas State Fair, and they're showing off their great lineup of hot spring spas with some great pricing to go along with them. In fact, during the fair, they're offering an instant rebate up to $1,000 on hot spring spas. Of course, the showroom will still be open during the fair, with the same great fair special in-store as well. While you're there, take a look at their new Eno line of hammocks, chairs, backpacks, and more. Jim's Water and Woods, 419 West 2nd in Hutchinson, and in the Meadowlark building on the fairgrounds.
For the ninth time in the first half, Gagan kicks off. This one a little deeper, low on the ground, picked up at the 22-yard line, and the Blue Dragons with good kick coverage downfield prevent any kind of significant run back. And with 57 seconds left, one would think it is time for Resolution Prep to think about, let's just take a knee a couple of times and go to halftime without additional damage.
I'd go with that. 33, Drew Harvey on special teams making the tackle, as this one has been all Hutchinson. Dragons dominating this first half of play as expected, and just trying to get through this week. They have ranked Garden City and possibly ranked Highland coming up here the next couple of weeks, and neither of those are going to be easy at all.
And they're not going to take a knee. They're going to throw it in the middle of the field. Another pick by the Blue Dragons at the 40-yard line, at the 30, at the 20, at the 15, at the 10, 5, and a Blue Dragon touchdown. This one on the pick by Lawson Holbert.
And that is on the coaching staff right there. You got to just run the football, get to halftime, and end this thing, and you try to put the ball in the air, and you're asking for problems.
I got news for you. This thing is over, although there's still a half to play. It is 62-0.
Goodness. Another pick 6 for Hutchinson. And that one was about as easy as you'll ever get as a defensive back.
And the extra point, he can do this all day, guys. It is now reached 63-0. And we still have 45 seconds left in the first half. The Hutchinson's kickoff for the 10th time in the half comes up in half a minute.
For quality in product and in service, choose your Train air conditioning system from E&M Plumbing. E&M can supply you with high-efficiency Train systems with the same high-quality insulation you've come to expect from their long-time service experience. They'll answer any questions you have about the new high-efficiency Train units with no obligation. Thinking air conditioning? Think E&M Plumbing Incorporated, 701 West 2nd, 662-1281. After all, it's hard to stop a train.
Well, for the 10th time in the first half, and I promise you that Donovan Gagan has never kicked off 10 times and a half in his life. He'll do it again.
You've had to ice the pitcher's arms. In this case, you got to ice the kicker's leg in the locker room at halftime because he has probably used that leg more than he ever dreamed of.
Bring out that blue emu that the medicine shop used to handle. Kicks on the ground, scooting upfield, handled at the 45-yard line, and smacked down right there.
Good hustle by the Dragon special team units, as in on that tackle was Lavelle Jackson from here in Kansas out of Topeka. He missed initially, got back up, circled around, and made the tackle from behind. That's good hustle, good heart.
I'm going to be shocked if they don't take a knee here.
Well, on the last possession, I never dreamed
they're not going to.
That they would throw the football. And if they throw the football here, it'll be unimaginable.
Jalen Jones is back there all by himself. Now here comes a little bit of help from the sideline. Garrett Hunter comes in at a running back spot. And now they will take a knee.
You go.
And the Blue Dragons are not going to do anything to stop the clock. I guarantee you they lead this 63-0. And there will likely not be another play in the first half.
They've turned the play clock off. Nobody has to snap the ball. Let's go to the locker room.
The most dominant half of football I have ever seen by a Blue Dragon football team against a totally overmatched opponent. It is 63-0, and that's our halftime score. We'll take a 2-minute break and be back with the Medicine first half game capsule.
No time to fix breakfast? Just call us at Anchor Away 662-3100 and we'll have it ready for you. Choose from our selection of breakfast burritos, biscuits, or one of our 5 different complete breakfast plates. Breakfast from 7 to 10:30, Monday through Saturday. If you missed us for breakfast, we're here for lunch and dinner too. Pick up your favorite Mexican dinner or take some home for the family. We're open till 9. That's Anchor Away, drive-through, carry-out, and catering under the water tower at B & Adams in Hutchinson, 662-3100.
Ever wonder why some wireless carriers charge so much more than others? At Nextech Wireless, you'll receive nationwide coverage, 4G LTE data, and unlimited data, but we don't overcharge you like some of the other carriers do. Plus, we have buy one, get one free smartphones and the best customer service. With more than 50 stores in our area, you can actually talk to us face to face. Tired of paying more and only getting more fees, charges, and a higher bill? Say goodbye to your carrier and hello to Nextech Wireless.
Hello, this is Tom Elliott of Elliott Mortuary, and again this year we are pleased to help sponsor HCC Blue Dragon Sports. We encourage you to support all the Blue Dragon games, both home and away, with your attendance, but if not, we hope you enjoy listening to the game here on KWBW and Country 102.9. Elliott Mortuary and Crematory, a proud sponsor of Hutchinson Community College, and honored to have served the families of Hutchinson and Reno County since 1935.
Hi, I'm Ken Hyman, General Manager of Midwest Superstore in Hutchinson. We're proud to be a sponsor of HCC Sports. You have choices when it comes to your vehicle purchases, and a better way is more than a slogan. Any new or select pre-owned purchase comes with our Advantage Rewards benefits. That includes complimentary car washes with every service visit, a loaner car with any major service, including oil changes and tire rotations. A better way also means no high-pressure sales tactics. Everyone has deals, but do they take care of you after the sale? Visit us at MidwestSuperstore.com and go Blue Dragons.
Halftime at Gallon Stadium on this pretty Saturday afternoon, and the scoreboard has a pretty look to it for Blue Dragon football fans as Hutchinson has dominated this contest from the very beginning. and leads it here at the halftime break by a score of 63-0. 63-0. The Dragons with 9 touchdowns in that first half. And it all occurred with the Blue Dragon first team offense in there, I believe, for maybe 2 series of downs. But it has made no difference who is out there for the Blue Dragons. Rob was talking about the Dragons going 6 or 7 deep at the running back position. Dragons getting a couple of pick sixes to end that first half and totally outperforming Resolution Prep Academy in every aspect of this football game. This is the first half Medicine Shop game capsule. The Medicine Shop would like you to know that even though the weather's nice, you know and I know that flu season is just around the corner. It is not too early to go ahead and get your flu shot. It takes a couple of weeks for them to take effect. Lacey at the Medicine Shop supposedly has the softest touch in town. I was in there earlier this week to get a shingles shot, and I'll vouch for the fact that she does a great job. Always a convenient place, the Medicine Shop located at 14th and Main, and they'll be happy to take care of your flu shot for you. How's this for total dominance? Hutchinson only ran 31 plays in the first half. Good for 347 yards. If you're doing the math there, that's 11 yards every time Hutchinson snapped the football. On the other hand, Resolution Prep in the first half, 35 snaps, good for minus 38 yards. That's a loss of a yard every time they snapped it. The Blue Dragon yardage divided 243 on the ground to minus 45 for Resolution Prep. Dragons had 104 passing yards to 7 for the Wildcats. Some individual stats for Hutchinson in the first half. Desmond Jackson had 2 carries, good for 65 yards, scored a touchdown. Deshaun Waller, 3 carries, 43 yards. Andrew Lee, 2 carries, 34 yards. Bradley D, 2 carries, 29 yards. The Dragons had 3 touchdowns on the ground. Jackson had 1, Waller had 1, and Bradley D got 1. Eric Forrest in the passing category went 3 of 6 for 71 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Cam Jones, who played very sparingly, went 2 of 3 for 33 yards. The Dragon touchdowns via the air were scored by Marcus Edwards and Johnny Lumpkin. And let's see. We suspected the Dragons wouldn't have to punt. They haven't punted so far in this football game. So if you're wondering where the other scoring came from for Hutchinson, well, the game ended on a couple of pass interceptions for the Blue Dragons with a Bradley D touchdown run in between. Kendall Robinson had a 57-yard pick six. Lawson Holbert a 43-yard pick six. Takes a long time to talk about that much scoring. 9 touchdowns for the Blue Dragons in the first half and totally in control, 63-0 at the halftime break. We're going to take 2 minutes. We'll be back with more.
Hello, my name is Dr. Brandy Weems, family practitioner at Summit Healthcare. We offer the full spectrum of family practice services, including well child checks, chronic disease management, and in-office procedures. Summit Healthcare is committed to providing quality family medicine and walk-in care to patients of all ages. As a Hutchinson native, I am honored to return to this wonderful community where the inspiration for my medical journey began. Schedule your appointment with me, Dr. Weems, at Summit Healthcare today, 662-6000.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Dragons! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
We all like to save money when and where we can, right? You can do that every day at Salt City Pawn and Jewelry. Hi, this is owner Paul Phillips inviting you to stop in and say hi to our friendly staff. And while you're here, check out over 3,000 square feet of great merchandise priced at outstanding values. We don't have to offer huge sale prices for one day only when we do that on a daily basis. Save big over retail prices on firearms, electronics, guitars and amps, name brand tools, video games, jewelry, and more. See us at 916 East 4th and Hutch, just east of 4th and Severance. We're proud to be alumni and supporters of all Blue Dragon athletics.
HCC Sports is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert F. of the Hutchinson Clinic, Barkley Plumbing, Vernon Chiropractic Center, Tim and Gina Ritter, along with Brian Strange of the Green Vision Group, Sutton Kaufman Transmission Service, Wade Patton Insurance, A&A Builders, Bold Office Shares, Mega Manufacturing, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Lowen Corporation, and by Mann, Wyatt, and Rice, LLC. These Sportscaster Club members help provide funds for HCC scholarships.
Well, welcome back to Gowan Stadium, where it was all Blue Dragons in the first half. 63-0 is our halftime score. Be interesting to see in the second half if we have some kind of a running clock here for this football game. By the way, something that we missed and found out at halftime, Blue Dragon Chris Allen, number 42, when there were offsetting personal foul penalties called on each team, was ejected, Glenn, from the football game.
That's, and I remember my granddaughter Sarah said something about the fact that it was that somebody was ejected, and I actually thought maybe it was somebody from Resolution Prep, and then I didn't see anybody leave the field, so I didn't pay too much attention to it. But that could have some ramifications going forward.
Would mean that player would not be eligible next week against Garden City, although the Hutchinson roster very deep, and this year, thankfully, you'll probably be okay.
Only one other game so far underway in the Jayhawk Conference. That would be Dodge City, and they're playing a technical team, a prep team also from Texas. They lead 15-0 midway through the first quarter play. Most of the other ones are either evening games or later starts today, Rob. We'll see. I know the one I got my eye on is that Independence and Garden City ball game. That should be interesting because, of course, Garden City, as you mentioned, being the opponent for the Blue Dragons coming up here in about a week.
Doesn't get any easier for Hutchinson, no doubt about that, as Garden City, the defending national champions, and there is no love lost between the head coach at Garden City and Ryan Rhodes, and I know Ryan would like nothing more than to knock that football team off.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen. That's going to be a long trip. And then they have, for folks that haven't been out to Garden City or weren't out the last time that we played out there, they have a whole new field that they play on the last couple of years out. It's on the east side of Garden City, and it is dedicated primarily to Garden City Community College. So it's not played where the new field where the high school plays. Remember the old high school played on that east and west directional, that is now a junior high only facility. So Garden City High School has their own, and Garden City Community College has their own. So it's out on the east side. So that would be a nighttime game. That'll be next week, and we'll have all the action coming your way right here on Country 102.9 as well as KWBW 1450 AM and 98.5 FM.
Yep.
Been to the fair yet, big guy?
Have not. Didn't get a chance. I watched Buehler High School football last night. Crusaders putting a whipping on Andover Central, a pretty good football team that has a lot of size, speed, and quickness, and it was total domination by Buehler to move their record to 1-1. McPherson beat Buehler week one in kind of an upset. Steve Warner, nobody better at coming back after a loss and getting a win, and it was kind of a surprise that Mays South beat McPherson last night. Hutchinson High School getting a nice win as expected over Newton, and the high school season suddenly, just like that, we're already going into week 3.
You're missing the big one. Derby was beat. Derby got beat by Goddard 50-20.
That was the buzz in the stands last night.
Snapped a 27-game win streak for the Derby Panthers, so that was a pretty good win streak that they had going. So that kind of opened some things up, and maybe woke the Panthers. You'll see what happens here.
I'll give some credit to Brad Halyard, the former Hutchinson news writer who now works for Hutchinson Community College and has been instrumental in the college newspaper here and some of the stuff they're doing, but he has his own rankings for the state of Kansas and had Goddard as the number 1 ranked team in 5A and knew they were very special, and they proved it as they put a whipping on Derby last night.
Interesting, very interesting. Let's check some of the scores around the nation in NCAA action. It is Michigan leading Cincinnati. Michigan off that big win last week over Florida. 17-14 they lead Cincinnati. That's in the third quarter with 4:12 to go. Wisconsin in the fourth quarter leads Florida Atlantic University 31-14. K-State on top of Charlotte now 45-7 just at the end of the third quarter play. They're about to go into the fourth quarter play. UNC North Carolina losing to Louisville. It's fourth quarter action just underway. 33-28. That's a back-and-forth ball game. And out of the top 25, some other games happening later on. Auburn, Clemson, that's going to be a big one tonight. That will be just about the premier game, along with a team called Ohio State and Oklahoma. That should be a good matchup, and that will be played at Ohio State. So those are some interesting matchups that are coming. I'll check some Big 12 action here in just a little bit.
Yeah, K-State was all over Charlotte.
Yeah, 45-7 right now and going into the fourth quarter. So West Virginia leading in the third quarter over Eastern Carolina, 56-13. Iowa State on top of Iowa. That's always a big battle. That's just underway in the fourth quarter. 24-21 is that score. So Baylor back in action. They take on UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, tonight. That'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff, and see if they can get bounced back. And upcoming TCU and Arkansas. That'll be a good one at 2:30. Okie State, by the way, was a big-time winner on Friday. They played SALA, and that's would be 44-7 was the final in that game. So anyway, let's take a 2-minute timeout. We'll come back and talk more sports on this halftime. Right now it is 63-0 at halftime. The Blue Dragons on top. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
For over 15 years, Erickson Custom Building has helped homeowners bring their remodel ideas to life. If you're looking to update a kitchen or bathroom or hoping to remodel your entire home, trust the team at Erickson Custom Building. We create customized plans designed around your dreams, ideas, and budget. For quality and follow-through on any home project, call Erickson Custom Building at 620-585-2816 or visit ericksoncustombldg.com.
The medicine shop, when you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need, delivered with speed, the lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
Just when you thought you were done with taxes, you got a letter from the IRS. Maybe you're being audited, or maybe you filed for an extension and still need some tax help. We at H&R Block are there for you. We don't stop working on April 15th. Our tax professionals are here to help you year-round. So if you have tax issues you need a hand with, even if H&R Block didn't do your taxes the first time around, visit our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, or Ellsworth and let our experienced tax professionals help get you every dollar you deserve.
The Rothy family name has always been connected to serving the Hutchinson community, and you can expect the same kind of high-quality service when you visit Rothy Family Flooring. They believe you deserve to be treated like family, so they've invested in their own talented and trustworthy installers to lay your floors. No outside contractors will ever knock on your door if Rothy works for you. Let them show you their expansive selection of name brand flooring and trust your home to the best. Rothy Family Flooring, 325 North Main, Hutchinson.
Well, welcome back at halftime right here at 63-0. Blue Dragons on top of Resolution Prep Academy. And coming up at 3 o'clock, Blue Dragon ladies, the soccer team, will be taking on the Barton Cougars. That'll be over at the soccer complex off of 23rd Street.
Salt Hawk Sports Complex.
Mm-hmm. That'll be happening there. In volleyball, they're still out in College of Southern Idaho tournament, and they had a big win. Huge upset. They lost earlier to Snow College in three sets, but got a big upset over Salt Lake in last night, number 4 team in the nation. So congratulations to Patrick Hall. They're playing today as well. So he just keeps rebuilding. He loses a lot.
Yeah, I saw Patrick in Heston for the Heston-Nickerson volleyball game earlier in the week. Both those teams ranked very highly in 3A and Class 4A Division II, and good to see him out working during the week, always trying to make Blue Dragon volleyball better.
And if you have not seen the new Hutchinson magazine, he and his wife, house that they have on Sherman, on East Sherman, is highlighted in that beautiful house. So he's done a lot of the work himself to that. That's a situation where he came from the Northeast, from Connecticut. His wife was a veterinarian. She's turned into an artist. She's kind of retired as being a vet, and They really like it here, and they're very involved with the community. So good luck to him as they're out there. And, of course, he doesn't back down from playing anybody.
No.
And, by the way, coming up on Monday night on Blue Dragon, Blue Dragon-related sports shows will be Dragon Talk with Rob Dreher and Coach Ryan Rhodes. That'll be taking place at 6 o'clock, and then followed by this year's edition of Reno County Coaches Corner. Rob, along with Rod Zook and myself, we'll bring you all some of the high school action, and we mix in some college as well, anything sports-related in Reno County and thereabouts. We'll talk about, of course, the Hutch High win, the Beulah win, and a couple other guests that we'll have on. That'll be from 6:30 to 7, and then our regular programming right after that.
That's right, as we'll mix in some Royals baseball as well. Royals really struggling right now. Just tremendous injuries to pitching. Ian Kennedy now having some arm trouble. Danny Duffy's been on the sideline. Jason Vargas hasn't been the same since the first half of the year. Bullpen with Herrera collapsing, and you don't really know who your closer is. The wheels have kind of come off this Kansas City Royals team, and amazingly enough, they're still, within 3.5 games in that wild card race.
Yeah, they still got a shot at it, but it's getting a little shaky, and I heard a lot of people talking when I was up at Iowa Western. I listened to a lot of sports talk on the way up, and they were talking about, boy, if they go 7-5 in that in those sets over the next 12 days, it was going to be really tough for them to make any ground. Like you said, still sitting outside, looking from outside, and now the injury's starting to plague and get up on them a little bit.
Well,
what's happening
right now at midfield, the officials are huddling up with head coach Ryan Rhodes, the athletic directors of both teams, as well as the head man from Resolution Prep, and they are going to figure out how we're going to play this second half, because in my opinion it makes no sense to anyone involved to play a full half of football like we just had here in the first half.
Yep.
You either shorten the quarters, you have a running clock, or you do something. But 63-0 right now is good enough.
Let's go ahead and take one minute timeout, and I'll head down to the sidelines, and Rob, you'll get ready to tie it in. I think they have decided down there. We'll try to find out what they have decided. We're going to take a 60-second break. We'll be back with more from Gowan Stadium and Blue Dragon football right after this.
If you have children, I'm sure you're on top of this. But I'd just like to remind you about the importance of wellness checks, can-be healthy exams, and immunizations. Prairie Star pediatrician David Smith wants to make sure your children stay healthy, whether you have insurance or not. Welcome to Prairie Star Health Center, 30th and K61 in Hutchinson.
Once again, Jim's Water & Woods will be at the Kansas State Fair, and they're showing off their great lineup of hot spring spas with some great pricing to go along with them. In fact, during the fair, they're offering an instant rebate up to $1,000 on hot spring spas. Of course, the showroom will still be open during the fair, but the same great fair special in-store as well. While you're there, take a look at their new Eno line of hammocks, chairs, backpacks, and more. Jim's Water & Woods, 419 West 2nd in Hutchinson, and in the Meadowlark building on the fairgrounds.
Well, we are at halftime as we are kind of wrapping things up here in this one. It is Hutchinson leading 63-0 as both coaches, athletic directors meeting at midfield. And I believe what we are going to see is a running clock in the second half, of which the only stoppage will be for scores and timeouts. Rusty?
And I think that is the only reasonable way to bring this game to a conclusion. There is, in my mind, no question that were this a game to be played out in its entirety without the running clock, I don't think there's any way that the Dragons could avoid scoring 100-plus points.
Yeah, just not even trying to. We're getting pick sixes, running the ball up the middle with our seventh-string running back, and you can't do much more than Hutchinson has done in this one. By no stretch has Hutch tried to embarrass or run up the score in this contest. It is 63-0 as we are still trying to kind of get things situated as the official talking with one of the coaches, it appears, from Resolution.
I do not think that there will be any resistance. I don't think there will be anybody that's been here and been a part of this game that thinks this is anything but a great idea.
No. There is no doubt about that. In the first half, Rusty, when you were gone, I mentioned at halftime that Chris Allen, number 42, was ejected from the game, and he wasn't.
He went in and played after that, and Coach Rhodes had checked to see, was 42 ejected, and the officials say, oh, no, we didn't eject him.
Okay.
So otherwise, the Blue Dragons could have been in the unique situation of leading 63-0 and potentially forfeiting a game for using a player that was not eligible to continue, but Coach Rhodes had checked that out. So there is no problem with that. Now,
Good.
Hutchinson will get the football to start the second half, which ought to move right along with the running clock. You would think that we're going to play the third and the fourth quarter in probably 20 or 25 minutes each. First half didn't take very long, although there were a lot of big plays in it.
Well, Hutchinson awaits the kickoff as Resolution Prep will hold the football because of the fairly stiff breeze we've had here on this Saturday, second day of the Kansas State Fair in Hutchinson, and we are set for second half football as here comes the kickoff.
Line drive kick might go out of bounds and does.
Give Hutchinson great starting field position here in the second half as they will put the ball down at the 40-yard line. Or is it 35?
Hutchinson will have the first possession of the second half, and that clock will start running.
As soon as the Dragons snap the ball, we'll let it run unless the player gets injured, have a timeout, or a score.
Well, if you read about this in the Hutchinson News, I don't think it'll be a first-hand account because I've not seen anybody from the Hutchinson News here covering the game this afternoon. Dragons go back, just plowing it up the middle. They're not going to do anything but just try to pick up first downs and keep the clock rolling.
And that's another Dragon running back.
That's number 30. That's Jamard Morgan.
Or Jason Poe.
No, I guess it is Poe.
Yeah, and he would be the 8th Blue Dragon running back that we have used in this contest.
And now the Blue Dragons are going to take a bunch of time between plays, too. Nobody in the coaching game wants to embarrass another team or another coach.
Coach Rhodes was thankful that he found somebody to play after a team backed out late and you're trying to reschedule and get somebody in here so you can play one of the games you need to play.
And again, the play is right up the middle, and the Dragons are going to be contained for another short gain.
Eric Forrest in at quarterback again. He was the second quarterback that came in after Jones, who started this contest for Hutchinson.
That time it was Andrew Lee that got the carry. 3rd down and 6 for Hutchinson.
Eric Forrest with a touchdown pass in this game.
And the Dragons will take the play clock down. They break the huddle with about 14 seconds on the clock, send 3 wideouts to the right side.
And amazingly enough, there are still quite a few Dragon fans in the stands to watch this.
Forrest takes the snap, hands off. Lee picks up the first down, breaks to the outside, running in traffic, takes it all the way down to the 42-yard line of Resolution Prep for a first down.
Well, Glenn Grunwald, nice run.
Yeah, it really is. Nice runs coming out of there, and just power football and run straight ahead, nothing fancy. You're not going to give Garden City anything to look at, and just work on some things that you need to hone a little bit better, and you can always work on that.
Sideline Reports brought to you by Jackson Meats, Oliver's Beef and Brew, and Cahoon Kinesiology.
I want to know where Glenn got that hat.
I don't think he stole it.
No, he wouldn't steal it. Not a Southern gentleman. He's probably got 3 or 4 of those.
I hear you. I'm down here having a conversation.
Handoff up the middle, and again, nice gain on first down, about 5 or 6, just behind good line surge. That was once again Andrew Lee.
Yeah, Lee, a very talented back. He could play for a lot of teams, and for Hutchinson, at the moment, he is the 4th running back on the depth chart for this Dragon team.
There's a lot of talent in this conference, and the Blue Dragons are going to find out what it's like to play the defending national champions 1 week from today. We'll be out in Garden City. Forrest stands back in the shotgun, brings a tight end into the field of play, then sets him up on the right side. And there's a nice spin move by Lee to get back to the line of scrimmage. Actually, nice penetration on the part of the Resolution defense there. Lee was first grabbed in the backfield, managed to spin free, and they're going to say his knee touched for a loss of about a yard.
Our clock continues to move. Hutchinson leading 63-0 after scoring all those points in the first half. Running clock here in the second half. Hutch running the play clock down inside of 5 seconds every time they snap the ball, with Eric Forrest continuing at quarterback.
Dragons are 3rd down and 6.
This is so good for Forrest to get this time.
Sure is. You never know when his number's going to be called.
Takes the snap, hands off to Lee. Lee gets to the edge on the right side, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and is run out of bounds as a flag drops in the area of the 20-yard line.
Well, the Dragons are going to get the first down, and then a flag came in late. This could be against Hutchinson, but it will come, in my opinion, after the Dragons had already picked up the first down.
Could be offsetting, too. We'll see what's going to be the call here.
The officiating crew has had a lot of conferences today.
Holding against Hutchinson.
Yeah, replayed it down, 10-yard penalty.
Okay.
So the Dragons will really look at a 3rd down and very long right now. It'll be 3rd down and 16. Hutchinson leading at 63-0. We have a running clock, and already on this opening drive of the second half, 5 minutes have come off.
It will be a first down, as I said, because the flag came after Hutchinson had already crossed the first down marker, and thus,
then they back it up.
That's right.
Back it up
from the 20 to the 30.
Which Hutchinson is fine with, because now more opportunities to run off clock, as we are now already inside the 10-minute mark of the third quarter.
And the Blue Dragons are just having a casual conversation. It's not really even a huddle. They're just kind of talking to each other. Yeah, they don't even make a move toward the line of scrimmage until the play clock is down to about 15.
Be shocked as anyone in the building if Hutchinson put the ball in the air at any time on this drive.
There are a couple of wide outs to the left side, but I don't think the Dragons are going to do anything but run it, and they give it to a fullback. And a short gain on first down. It was
Darian Lewis,
number 43, got the carry, got just a yard.
And that is the 9th Blue Dragon running back we have called in this game.
2nd down and 9 at the 29 of Resolution Prep.
Glenn, have you stretched because your number might be called next?
My number's never going to be called next, so, no, but I do stretch.
Good. That's good to know.
Stockton put Quinn Head on here. He's the linebacker for the Blue Dragons. Was not in that first half of play. He said he'll get probably a series in the second half.
I'll tell you a story about him.
Forrest hands off. Lee trying to get to the right side. Doesn't get there. A nice play defensively by Resolution Prep. And for the first time, a little bit of spark on the part of the defense for Resolution Prep.
Quinn Head was the Jayhawk Conference Defensive Player of the Week for his efforts on the road last week in Iowa.
And he played tough the week before with the win over Coffeyville. Was really cramping up severely after the game. Matter of fact, he was sitting at about the 40 and needing trainers to come even after the game was over. Yeah, I think he's just getting a little well-needed rest. He's a good ball player.
3rd down and 9, ball at the 29. Dragons go on balance line left. Forrest in the gun, says something to his running back. Wants to throw it, floats it downfield, has his man touchdown. Nicely thrown, delivered right over the top of a defender, and the Blue Dragons are in the end zone for the first time in the second half. Extra point, presumably will make it 70-0.
Tavian Allen on the catch for the touchdown. Just a simple throw catch. Doesn't get any easier than that. Surprised Hutchinson went to the air.
But I like the way he throws the ball. That was right on the money. Tight spiral.
And now Niemeyer will try to tack on his 10th extra point of the afternoon. Kicks up. Kick is automatic. It is good, and the Blue Dragon lead is 70-0. 7.5 minutes to go with a running clock in the third quarter. More football in 1 minute.
For quality in product and in service, choose your Train air conditioning system from E&M Plumbing. E&M can supply you with high-efficiency Train systems with the same high-quality insulation you've come to expect from their long-time service experience. They'll answer any questions you have about the new high-efficiency Train units with no obligation. Thinking air conditioning? Think E&M Plumbing Incorporated, 701 West 2nd, 662-1281. After all, it's hard to stop a train.
Just as the Hutchinson Blue Dragons athletics are a tradition, so is the Anchor Inn in downtown Hutchinson. Whether you plan lunch or dinner or even take out for home, the Anchor Inn is a great family restaurant that you are sure to enjoy. Order off their great menu or take advantage of the Anchor Inn's awesome buffet. You'll make a great choice either way. The Anchor Inn is also a great spot to meet up with old friends and acquaintances because everyone goes to the Anchor. That's the Anchor Inn at 128 South Main in Hutchinson, proud supporters of Hutchinson Blue Dragon athletics.
Donovan Gagan with the wind again at his back, kicks it out the back of the end zone, and Resolution Prep with its favorite starting spot, the 25-yard line.
Well, when Hutch is kicked with that wind at its back, it has been no contest as the kick has sailed either deep into the end zone or outside of the end zone. 70-0 as it'll be Resolution Prep's ball to start things for the first time here in the second half.
The managers for Hutchinson are trying to get that football on that extra point. They went into the pond up at the north end here.
You know what? I have the perfect volunteer. How about your granddaughter?
Think Sarah want to go down there and get it? She says no.
Okay, I didn't think she'd want to get in that.
Resolution Prep starts the second half with quarterback Keep taking it to the left side and turning it into positive yardage, a pickup of about 5. That's about the fourth kid to play quarterback.
I don't know that I've ever seen a football, Glenn, kicked into the little pond.
No, I
here.
haven't either. That's why we were looking at that, and it was going end over end, and all of a sudden we didn't see it. And they have not came back with it yet.
Yeah, there's somebody out there standing looking at it, and little football floating in the pond.
Mark Bonnet is the current quarterback for Resolution Prep. Normally a kicker. Like so many kids on this team called on to do double duty, he's in trouble behind the line of scrimmage, fumbles the football. It is picked up by Resolution Prep, and they could turn this into actually positive yardage, bring it back close to the original line of scrimmage.
That is one of the craziest plays. I mean, he was surrounded by what looked like 4 Blue Dragons, and somewhat like Houdini got out of it and scampered for some yards, Glenn.
Yeah, it was yanked out of there by number 59 for the Blue Dragons, Jaden Cunningham, and it went flying back into a Wildcats' hands, and like Rusty said, picked up positive yardage on the play.
3rd down and 6 at the 29-yard line. Running clock in the third quarter. Hutchinson, after leading 63-0 at halftime, has scored once here in the third quarter. Bonnet puts it up for grabs. That's going to be a pick 6. Just threw it up in the air and saying thank you very much, and taking it into the end zone is a young man that has had quite a game for the Blue Dragons.
Drew Harvey, yep, 33. When we hand out those Defensive Player of the Week honors, his name will certainly be in the making for winning that.
There has been some exceptionally poor decision-making on the part of the quarterbacks for Resolution Prep. There have been 2 or 3 passes thrown that should never have been thrown, that being one of them.
Why, with the score the way it is, are you trying to throw the football in the first place? That might need some explanation there. Run the ball. Let's get out of here.
Niemeyer with another extra point has made it 77-0. Still 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. More in a minute.
Ever wonder why some wireless carriers charge so much more than others? At MaxTech Wireless, you'll receive nationwide coverage, 4G LTE data, and unlimited data. But we don't overcharge you like some of the other carriers do. Plus, we have buy one, get one free smartphones and the best customer service. With more than 50 stores in our area, you can actually talk to us face to face. Tired of paying more and only getting more fees, charges, and a higher bill? Say goodbye to your carrier and hello to MaxTech Wireless.
Hello, this is Tom Elliott of Elliott Mortuary, and again this year we are pleased to help sponsor 8CC Blue Dragon Sports. We encourage you to support all the Blue Dragon games, both home and away, with your attendance, but if not, we hope you enjoy listening to the game here on KWBW and Country 102.9. Elliott Mortuary and Crematory, a proud sponsor of Hutchinson Community College, and honored to have served the families of Hutchinson and Reno County since 1935.
For the 12th time in this football game, Donovan Gagan will kick off. Wendy's back. He's put him in the end zone pretty consistently. This one he doesn't get quite as hard. It's taken at the goal line. Brought out to the 5, to the 10, to the 15. Boom.
Goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a freight train right there.
Oh, what a hit.
And the guy said, why didn't I let that go into the end zone?
And Burnett make on the stop right there. Hey, after that touchdown, Coach Rhodes asked why the clock was stopped, why it wasn't running. I don't think he understood it after scores. They were going to stop the clock.
Yeah, he doesn't want
he doesn't want this to get any worse.
No. But he was asking why it wasn't stopped. He was wanting it to keep on going.
Yeah, even through the timeouts.
Exactly.
I get you. And nobody in this stadium would argue him stopping the clock for anything between now and the end of this one.
And the quarterback just simply hangs on to it. It is Mark Burnett, and he loses yardage, but not a lot. Let's call it no gain.
Tremont Sellers, another young man from Florida. Got to be at least 20 Blue Dragons from that state on this roster.
This is a very, very talented Blue Dragon football team. If they can get some breaks, they could go a long ways. There's another tackle in the backfield for Hutchinson. Resolution Prep, there's nothing they can do. The Blue Dragons are so dominant on the line of scrimmage. Running backs don't have any chance to generate.
Yeah, the line's getting tired, guys, and unfairly as it is, the second and even third team for the Blue Dragons, they're fresh. They're coming in there. It's just fishing in the pond right there.
Nobody plays both ways at this level anymore, and this team, for the most part, has.
Yeah, their offensive line, their defensive linemen, pretty much one and the same. Pass play on third down. Ball up for grabs. Could be another interception. It is at the 45-yard line, and at the 40, at the 35, at the 30, at the 20, at the 15, and it's another pick six.
Nope,
stepped out of bounds.
7-yard line.
Coleman, I believe, on the interception. I think it was Coleman.
And another example of throwing the football up, and Hutchinson does not want to try to put any more points on the game, and Resolution's just giving it to him.
Addison Coleman on the pick. I wonder what the record for pick sixes for the Blue Dragons in a football game is. If that one had gone to the end zone, and it did not, it would have been the fourth in this game.
That's right.
So the Blue Dragons with 2:48 to go, 7 yards away from going across the 80-point mark in this game. We're still in the third quarter. We've had a running clock, and the Dragons have still scored twice.
And it would appear are on their way to doing it a third time here in this quarter.
Dragons have changed quarterbacks. It is Chris James at quarterback now for Hutch. I think he's the only Hutchinson quarterback that hasn't led a scoring drive. Let's see if he can get one here. James hands off. This is the end around, and enough speed to get into the end zone for Adrian Cross.
That was Lemons on the carry, other 5.
Other 5. All right, that was Kai Lemons that scored.
freshman from Wichita. And that does stop the clock on the score, making the score 83-0. We're going to run out of digit spots before this is all said and done.
Well, our sponsors are going to be happy because we have had a lot of time for our good sponsors to talk about their products and their services. Luke Niemeyer, I mean, all of his kicks are on the same trajectory. All of them are right down the middle, and that one is rolling toward the pond. Is it going to get there?
There's a young man running after that, sprinting, and he gets it before it goes into the pond.
And
Give that boy $1. My goodness.
Kidding. We're talking about a pond that's probably 60 yards behind the goal.
Yeah, at least.
All right. It is 84-0 after the extra point. We'll have the kickoff in 30 seconds.
HCC Sports. You have choices when it comes to your vehicle purchases, and a better way is more than a slogan. Any new or select pre-owned purchase comes with our Advantage Rewards benefits. That includes complimentary car washes with every service visit, a loaner car with any major service, including oil changes and tire rotations. A better way also means no high-pressure sales tactics. Everyone has deals, but do they take care of you after the sale? Visit us at MidwestSuperstore.com and go Blue Dragons.
And now, quite obviously, the decision has been made to not stop the clock after scores because the clock continuing to run during the timeout. Here comes a kickoff. This one's returnable, taken at the 1-yard line, right out to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, and out almost to the 20-yard line. He, again, would have been better advised to let it go into the end zone.
Latavion Beaton getting his name called for the first time, another freshman from Florida, making a special team tackle, and incredible, just an incredible third quarter.
You know, 2 weeks ago we were talking about the kids from Houston, Humphreys and a couple of Butler from Louisiana. Now we need to talk about those kids from Florida. They probably have families that are in the brunt of the storm.
Well, I'm sure they are.
And that's the end of the third quarter. With a running clock in the third quarter, Hutchinson still scores 3 more times and leads it 84-0 with the fourth quarter coming up in a minute.
Whatever the sport or season it may be, if you suffer any kind of sports injury, call the outstanding doctors at Pinnacle Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Doctors Lowen and Severud have effectively treated virtually every kind of sports injury. They use the most advanced arthroscopic surgical techniques available to medicine. You'll also work closely with their highly trained physical therapists every step of your rehab. Get back in the game with Pinnacle Sports Medicine. Call 662-6000 to schedule your appointment or visit them online at summitks.com.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Dragons! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, trying his luck at quarterback now is Tyrone Meredith. He fumbles the snap, picks it up. Dragons are chasing, and Meredith given ground and finally buried at the 10-yard line. Loss of 10. I don't have any idea. The Dragons have used a batch of quarterbacks, but Resolution Prep has used more, and they have all taken a lot of punishment.
That time, Lavelle Jackson, sophomore from Topeka, on the tackle.
So it is a loss of 10, huge negative yardage. Something like negative 45 yards offensively for the game for Resolution Prep. So from the 10-yard line, they're going to try to air it out. The ball's thrown in the middle of the field. It is incomplete. Pretty good coverage by the Blue Dragons on the play. And it will be 3rd down and 10.
Cream Gibson in coverage. Glenn still hot down there on the field.
Yeah, it is. It's really only 84 degrees. I checked my temperature on my phone just a little bit while ago, but the turf's starting to heat up, guys, and that radiant heat comes off of it. It's a little warm down here.
So it is a 3rd down and 20 at the 10-yard line. Dragons threatening blitz. Bad snap. Comes rolling back to the quarterback, who makes a nice move to get out of being trapped at about the 1-yard line. Got back to the 5. Quarterback this time is Jones again.
That's 33, Drew Harvey, who has really had a great game.
Yeah, we've called his name a bunch. And it is 4th down, and surely they will punt it here, although last time they didn't punt on 4th down. This time, surely they will. They will. It is Mark Bonnet. Dragons have nobody back. They're not even going to make an attempt to field this punt. And they don't put on much of a rush, and Bonnet gets off the kick, and he's going to get some pretty good yardage, lands at the midfield stripe, and rolls down inside the 30 to about the Hutchinson 28-yard line.
That's really been the best thing for Resolution Prep, and that's punting with the wind at their back in this game. That was a nice punt.
So the Blue Dragons, with an 84-0 lead and a running clock, will take over at the 28-yard line. Now, a wonderful scenario here would be you just start grinding out first downs. Not necessarily scoring, just picking up first downs and burn most of that final 11 minutes off the clock. This is the game with the greatest disparity and talent between two teams I have ever witnessed on this field.
Yeah, this has been a tough one if you're a Resolution Prep fan.
Chris James back in there, quarterback, guys.
And James hands off, and there's a hole, and hard to bring down. Big number 36 for the Blue Dragons. And that is Devin Miller.
Fullback, and we've called his name multiple times.
He runs hard.
Looks fresh, too. You can just see it. These guys getting opportunities that are 7-8 deep on the running back chart, and they're hungry, fresh, and you can see it. And the guys on the other side of the ball are just trying to survive this game. They've been out there so long.
I have to believe that everybody that is suited up for the Blue Dragons has gotten into the game, except perhaps Quinn Head that you were talking about, Glenn.
Yeah, and I don't think Quinn, he thought he was going to get to go in. I think it'd like to keep him out.
Well, that'd be silly if
yeah,
he's
it really would.
Kind of nursing some kind of an injury.
And there's a handoff, and straight ahead go the Dragons, and all the way out across the 50-yard line into Resolution Prep territory. Once again, big old number 36, Devin Miller.
Nothing fancy. Hand the ball off, straight up the gut, and take your time before you call the next play. We are now inside the 10-minute mark of this ball game.
And the Blue Dragons just grinding yards out. This game was 28-0 at the end of one quarter. It was 63-0 at halftime, and then even with a running clock in the third quarter, the Blue Dragons scored 3 times to make it 84-0. This is Hutchinson's first scoring chance of the fourth. And they go straight ahead. That's the fullback, and that's a pickup of about 4. That ball carrier for the Blue Dragons, Darian Lewis.
And that would be the 10th Dragon to carry the rock from the running back position in this game.
Well, if you're going to have these huge rosters that the conference has decided to go with, then I'm okay with that. You like to give kids a chance to get out on the field from time to time, and a game like this does provide that opportunity. So it is a 2nd and 6 at the 43 of Resolution Prep. Chris James under center. Hands off. Fullback plows straight ahead, has the first down at the 35. Once again, Darian Lewis. He's a young man from Lawrence Free State High School. He moves the chains for the Blue Dragons.
Well, if Hutchinson just keeps plugging ahead here and getting first downs, they could pretty much eat up a good portion of this clock and end this one mercifully.
Well, Chris James, all he's doing is just straight handoffs. Nothing tricky at all with what the Blue Dragons are doing. Resolution Prep, to be honest, really hurt themselves in this game. Hutchinson was always going to win the game by a huge margin, but to throw 3 pick sixes and almost 4 of them, those were points that didn't need to be surrendered by Resolution Prep. This time there's not much room, and Darian Lewis is down for basically no gain. And now we have attained the middle of the fourth quarter.
NFL opens up basically for real on this weekend. There was, of course, the Thursday night game with the Chiefs' big win over New England. And tell you what, some good things happened during that last week of the off season. Was J.J. Watt, who was going after that $250,000, Rob. We talked about that on the morning show. $26.5 million he raised.
Yeah, you can already write him down as NFL Man of the Year.
You betcha.
I mean,
well, he should be.
Put that in the books already. What a great guy.
Yep. James hands off and pounding straight ahead. The Dragons are able to crack across the 30 to the 29-yard line. Ball carrier, Devin Miller. Third down, long 5.
One of the bigger things media-wise was the phone call that Des Bryant took on a telethon from Jerry Jones, where he gave him $1 million. That went all around social media. That was pretty funny.
Well, Jerry's got it, and he's a Texan. Might as well give it.
This is a country that when things are bad for people in this country, there are a lot of people that are willing to step up and help out.
Yeah, and we just have no idea what is going to end up happening with things in Florida by Monday.
Running hard, stretching out, trying to get the first down for Hutchinson is Devin Miller. He's close.
They're going to actually measure, and then one official says it's a first down, move the chains. And
let's not measure in this situation.
Let's just run about 4 more plays here and eat up another 4 minutes.
Now with the running clock down to 6 minutes to go in this football game, 84-0 Hutchinson. The Dragons will be 2-1, traveling to Garden City next Saturday for a big meeting with the defending national champions.
Look forward to that matchup. I don't think Garden is what they were last year, but it's on their field, and it'll be a good, intriguing matchup.
And a nice gain on first down. Boy, I tell you what, I am impressed with Devin Miller. He runs hard. Still, they can't get him off his feet. It's a gain of 6 or 7.
Hungry guy. Take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. He's done just that.
Now Darian Lewis comes back in. It is 2nd down and 3. We're down to 5 minutes to go in this football game. 84-0.
My memory's not very good, but I remember the Blue Dragons hanging 90 on Independence a few years ago.
And I think you may be right, but that would have been in I believe, a full-length football game.
That would have been a full-length football game. You're right also.
There's a handoff, and straight ahead goes the fullback, and all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Dragons. Darian Lewis pushes the Dragon point total to 90. Wow. It is 90-0. And now this team from Resolution Prep in 2 exhibition games, were outscored 168-0. Now it's 258-0. In 3 games. This one, though, is the only game that is official.
Yep, looking over at their sideline, there's a whole bunch of young men ready to get on the bus.
Yep. Their trip to Hutchinson wasn't what they expected. The extra point is what we expected. Niemeyer just continues to knock them down. He's made 13 extra points.
Wow.
91-0 Hutch, 3:56 to go. In a football game that about 4 minutes from now mercifully will come to a close. We'll be back with the kickoff.
You can do that every day at Salt City Pawn and Jewelry. Hi, this is owner Paul Phillips inviting you to stop in and say hi to our friendly staff. And while you're here, check out over 3,000 square feet of great merchandise priced at outstanding values. We don't have to offer huge sale prices for one day only when we do that on a daily basis. Save big over retail prices on firearms, electronics, guitars and amps, name brand tools, video games, jewelry, and more. See us at 916 East 4th and Hutch, just east of 4th and Severance. We're proud to be alumni and supporters of all Blue Dragon Athletics.
HCC Sports is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert F. of the Hutchinson Clinic, Barkley Plumbing, Vernon Chiropractic Center, Tim and Gina Ritter, along with Brian Strange of the Green Vision Group, Sutton Kaufman Transmission Service, Wade Patton Insurance, A&A Builders, Bold Office Shares, Mega Manufacturing, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Lowen Corporation, and by Mann, Wyatt, and Rice, LLC. These Sportscaster Club members help provide funds for HCC scholarships.
Well, the Blue Dragons have set a lot of records here this afternoon. 91 points, more points than ever scored by a Blue Dragon football team. More touchdowns than ever scored by a Hutchinson team. Most extra points in a game, 13 by Luke Niemeyer. Probably the most kickoffs in a game, although I can't verify that.
And the most pick sixes.
Yep.
3, and we almost had 4.
Yeah. Next weekend coming up, we got Indians and Eagles and all kinds of stuff. And I'm referring to the Chiefs and the Eagles and the Salt Hawks, and the we'll be taking on the Mustangs, and then you got who else we got going on? The Dragons and the Broncbusters.
Yep. All coming up.
We'll be making the trip to Western Kansas to play a good football team.
Yeah, I can't wait for that nap.
Well, it'll be a well of a lot more competitive than this one has been.
Down under 2 minutes to go, 91-0.
And the ball comes rolling back to the quarterback, manages to get the ball handed off for a gain of about a yard.
Another tackle there by Lavelle Jackson, Kansas kid.
Yeah, he's had a good game.
He has.
Might be a record for the most quarterbacks used in a game by an opponent, too, although I don't know any way to research that one.
No, but you rarely see more than 2, and we've seen 4.
At least 4. And now we're down to a minute 11. We might have just 1 or 2 more snaps before this game goes into the record books, and it literally will go into the record books. A lot of records set. And there's another tackle for loss by the Blue Dragons. Nice play defensively for Hutchinson by Antoine Benjamin. Loss of 3. And it is 3rd down and 13.
Have to
I think
run
they're
one
going to
more
have
play.
to snap it one more time. You know, these 30 kids on the roster for Resolution Prep, they're going to sleep. They may sleep all the way back to Arlington, Texas.
Well, they deserve to.
They are tired. Outmanned, and final play of the game, it is going to be a running play to the side. Goes for a gain of 2 or 3 yards, and that will do it. Clock will tick out the final seconds, and this one goes in the record book as Hutchinson winning it convincingly. The Blue Dragons leading 63-0 at halftime with a running clock throughout the second half, win it 91-0. Nice performance by a lot of folks on that Blue Dragon football team, and if this game accomplished nothing more than to showcase all of that extra talent, it's there in abundance. We're going to take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with postgame, including a visit with Hutchinson coach Ryan Rhodes.
Teen years, Erickson Custom Building has helped homeowners bring their remodel ideas to life. If you're looking to update a kitchen or bathroom,